Howdy, folks. My name is J3 Puffin. I'm back at it again with a custom set review, this time with Gadget
Hello, I'm back.
and Loco Weeb.
Hi, my toxic trait is I like pictures of cute anime girls crying.
Which is
Wow.
fitting because he is the creator of today's set review topic, which is Umineko. I don't have the subtitle up.
Umineko no Nako Kuro ni, or translated directly into English, When the Seagulls Cry.
Seagulls, stop it
Oh,
now.
so it's not just anime girls. It's
Yeah, anthropomorphic anime girls that are seagulls. I like it when those cry.
I just say what a sick intro that was for yourself.
Weeb, what
Okay,
is Umineko for people who don't know?
all right, so for Umineko, for the people who don't know, it is a mystery visual novel. To put it in layman's terms, the best way to describe it would be a mix between Agatha Christie's And Then They Were None and Dante's Inferno. If you don't know what either of those are, a better way to describe it would be like Danganronpa, but good because it has MILFs.
Name was fire on that one.
Oh man. But yeah, visual novel. Also part of a series, the one they cry series that also has
It's like a sister series, yeah. So
yeah.
like they're loosely connected, but there's like a lot of connections that can be made between the two series. But as someone who has read both of those visual novels, Higurashi and Umineko, it is my humble fact, rather than opinion, that the more you compare the two series and connect them, the worse both of them get. So it's nice to just keep it
Ooh.
as like, that's a cute reference.
What is your like metagame of choice when you play Weiss? Is it English JP? Do you play both? Do you play mix?
I generally play English. If there is a set I like enough, I will buy it in JP. Like I bought some of like the Love Live sets in JP just because they were never going to come to English. I pre-ordered a playset of Bochi the second that got announced. By the way, you should check out my channel where I simp for Rio Yamada and talk about Bochi the Rock and Whites a lot.
I just was curious because in the past couple reviews that I've done, we've had Blank on here, and he's a big JP player. So
Yeah.
just right off the bat, there may be like context that JP and I are missing for some of these profiles, but that we're going to try to talk about analogs in English as best we can because a lot of these cards aren't like super egregious.
Keyword a
But
lot. Uh-huh.
I think it's important to point out because sometimes like we'll be looking at something and be like, this is ridiculous, and then someone will pipe up and say, yeah, this is a card in Uma Musume or whatever, and I'm just like, oh god, you're joking, right? And then it's like, nope, that's a real card.
No,
Okay, well,
they pull out the
Yeah.
Carfax and you just
because like English has never seen Symphogear, English has never seen like D-Side or D4DJ, like some of these really cracked
yeah,
sets that like some of them are on the ban list, right? Like being an English exclusive player, your perception of Weiss is going to be
a lot
um
smaller
if
than knowing
yeah,
everything that comes out. I play too many card games to do that.
yeah.
So, like, Weiss is my main card game, but I work at a card shop, so
You gotta know like a bunch about at
yeah,
least a little bit about a bunch of different
about
games.
everything, yeah,
Yeah.
because we carry a lot.
Speaking
Yeah,
of previous content, though, we've also made a Toho set, and we talked about Paru's Toho set last time.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of more continuity there, and we will see a couple of places where some lessons were learned from Toho. Maybe some lessons weren't learned from Toho.
So very ironic you mentioned Toho. This won't show up until 2 videos from now, but there is a Toho reference in this set.
Ooh.
So we have an 110 card set, no TD. We only have, as you can see from various things on this slide, 3 colors. Weeb, you want to tell us why you went with the Isekai color package?
My original plan for this set was to do red and blue because in the original visual novel, the colors red and blue actually have a lot of meaning to them. But as the set just got bigger and bigger, I didn't really feel comfortable making a two-colored set, especially for certain characters who kind of exist without outside the confines of the main cast. And another thing is I started working on this set before I even finished the visual novel.
Uh,
So yellow just was kind of like where I put some of like the one-off characters or the characters who are in multiple aspects of good guy and bad guy, for lack of a better word, and some of like the self-isolated characters as well, which I'll kind of explain more as we get into the specific cards.
gotcha. But you would say that like this is like a two faction series.
Yes, so in the confines of Umineko, the main, I guess, plot of it is a murder happens on an island, And within a higher plane, it's called the meta world in this game, but it's essentially just like a higher plane of existence where a witch named Beatrice and a human named Battler essentially argue depending could this murder be done by a human or only by a witch because it was impossible to be done by humans. And rinse and repeat for 8 episodes, and after 200 hours, you're crying.
Okay, so I've not played this, but I've played something similar. I won't say what it is in case that's a spoiler.
All right, speaking of the set, we got a very interesting climax lineup, in my opinion. Red is red. You have Standby, you have Door, you have Two Souls. And we have all three of them here. We don't have any wind, but not everything needs wind. And we have the return of Magnify. For those wondering, this is the exact same Magnify that showed up in the Scooby-Doo review, and it's done the exact same way as it was in the Scooby-Doo review, where it is a 1K1 trigger.
Did you decide to do the 1K1 because of watching the Scooby-Doo review, or did you decide independently of me that that was the more balanced thing to do?
I just figured that'd probably be the best thing to do because of the cards it works with. The Magnify trigger is only attributed to one character in this set, and she has level 1 to level 3 combo. So, like, the level 1 needs a reverse, or needs at least one of your characters to get a reverse, so we need, like, power there. And then the other's a finisher, so add that extra soul to push damage. It was kind of just felt like a safe ground rather than try and do something wacky with it.
Honestly, I agree with that. That was kind of the similar issue that I had when I was trying to put it into my set. Not really much to say there. Mag trigger is just a 1K1. Search your deck for character with level less than or equal to your level +1. We talked this trigger kind of to death in the Scooby-Doo review, so I don't really know if there's a lot to go over here for it, but it will be cool seeing the implications of it.
Yeah, the character gets the trigger because it's flavorful. That's really it.
We should say also, normally when we do these set reviews, like I like to review these blind because it helps me get a real visceral reaction to people's cards. But like with the Pikmin video where I basically remembered everything that Volk had done, like JP and I both kind of went through the set and previewed it a little bit. I didn't go over every card, but we are going to have some notes on here to kind of help us go through this a little bit smoother, I think.
Yeah, they're going to tell me how bad I am at designing cards and I should never cook again.
They're not that bad. It's just a couple little things.
Nope. Always be disappointed in yourself so you can't be let down.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
The only thing that I'm gonna front load this so that I don't end up saying it any other point in the video. If there are typos, there are typos. Finished product kind of thing.
Yeah, Lord knows I had a typo.
Yeah, but we're just gonna ignore them for purposes. Yeah. Instead, we're gonna talk about these cards. So let's start talking about these yellow cards.
All right, yellow, woohoo! Yep.
This is a very yellow card just off the bat. This is birthday present Sakutaro.
Sakutaro, yep.
If this card is a marker, it gets 2k and the following ability. This card and the character facing it cannot side attack. When this card is placed on the stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck if that character is a family or magic trade character. So those are primary traits to look at, family and magic. You may put it face down underneath this card as a marker. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, remove this card to an open position of your center stage with a character facing this card. This just looks like a really good runner.
Yes, it is. This is so yellow is kind of a small. Not kind of. It is a very smaller color. So it really needs like its good cards to be able to justify playing it, giving essentially a better Gil Thunder runner because I essentially combined the Gil Thunder from set 1 Sins and the Goblin Slayer Chaser that has the 5 or more cards in hand condition to get the power and level.
I had notes on this card because I thought that it was too big, but I just realized it's this card and the character facing this card.
Correct. So it's neutral.
Neutral demerit. All right. Well, shit.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun to see the notes that go awfully wrong after a second reading.
Flavor behind this card. We'll get to this more when we talk about a specific character, but this is a birthday present, obviously, as you can see, to a character, and she kind of personifies this being. She kind of makes it into a personality, and the personality of this character, Sakutoro, is kind of a cowardly lion, but in the face of danger will do what it's right and try and act brave. So being like a chaser, I'm not afraid of you, kind of like character growth moment for the character that we do see in a later card in yellow. But this card is also a early play condition when we get to blue.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
card is.
that's what I was going to bring up also. Here's what's tricky. Like, we've seen these sort of abilities, like, if you have a certain character in your clock, you get to early play it or whatever, right? Like, in Data Live, it was the Kurumi Brainstorm in set 1. In Ayakashi Triangle, it's the Brainstorm again. I like when they make that thing for your runner. I'm going to shout out to Desmond here because he had this whole spiel. So you know how, like, in Attack on Titan, everybody plays the Armin runner because it can run to center and sit big cross turn, right? When Desmond was playing AOT, he would play the Reiner card that could run away and the Mikasa Mill runner. And his logic was, I'm going to be playing a card at 4 copies to field plus for the early game. I want a card that actually does something, right? The Reiners can at least pump power. The Mikasas can at least mill me a card to give me deck speed, help me cancel. But Armin doesn't do anything. It just runs to center. And then after that, it's a dead card, right? I don't personally agree with that. But it does provide an interesting implication in why would you run 4 copies of your field plus when all you're effectively doing with it is helping you win board for the first 2 turns of the game? After that, it's useless. The cool thing about chaser profiles like this is they give you 1 card deck speed throughout the course of the game. So, like in Chainsaw Man, the Denji is a perfect example of this. That card is bonkers because it also hits on the event.
But it's
But
also a May ability, so it does give you top check information. You can just like leave it there if you want.
Right, exactly, and that's what the
triggers.
Guild Thunder does for you in Seven Deadly Sins, because that can help you top check if you have a soul trigger there for Escanor and do a couple other things. My point is, in general, running field pluses, there's actually a downside to playing 4 of them because you want to play 4 in your deck so you could see them in the early game. But to Desmond's point, they're pretty much useless after turn 2. So having them be the clock condition for your good cards is a benefit for you to run 4. That's why in my custom set I chose to have my runner be the card that fulfills clock condition for a couple things. And the same way, I think you've done a good job of doing that here. Like, bro, I'm glad that was the Makima Riki in Chainsaw Man is like the alarm effect in that set. But like, bro, if it was the Denji, honestly, I would not be disappointed either because my god, that card is so good. I think it's important to point that out when you're playing field plusing cards like this. Obviously, there's no downside to playing this because it gets you the deck speed. It's a clock condition, but like, yeah. Anyway, JP, did you have anything on this?
One note, like because this doesn't hit on events, there's going to be some builds of this set you're probably not going to be interested in running this card in because of that anti-synergy. But other than that, I played a lot of Hololive. Plussing zeros as far as like holding board and sitting big aren't like a thing that I spent a lot
you
of time
got into
thinking
Weiss
about.
like newer. Like you're set 1 Hololive, right?
Set 1 Hololive. So yeah, like having these Reddit profiles as being like a priority in like set design or whatever is just not a thing to me. This is good enough that I would just straight up run it. So
yeah,
it's gotta sit at least.
Yeah. The worst part about this card is that it is in yellow, so you have to like have other cards in your level 0 line to fix for colors. That was like one of like the main like constraints when deck building. So that was like, all right, I got to run 4 Sakutoro, but what if I want to play a blue and red deck? Having those 4 slots be Sakutoro, like yes, it's a good card, but I would rather run a plussing profile in one of my main colors because there's some other good utility zeros in yellow. So it just kind of eats up slots.
Right, yeah.
All right, so I have a couple things on this. The first thing is really small. I like that he's like, he reminds me of Kiro from Cardcaptor Sakura.
In the lore of Umineko, the character who named the doll she was getting for her birthday Sakura because she named it off of a character from a popular magical girl anime.
Okay.
And then when her mom told her, yo, this lion's going to be a dude, she was like, all right, I'll just change the name from Sakura to Sakutoro.
So it's not explicitly stated that it's card capture.
It is card capture, but it's card capture.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, so I think that you bring up a point that it is legitimately like a deck building session to play. Well, you said it is anyway. This set reads a lot to me like the original Seven Deadly Sins in that every color in that set got playable zeros. This set has like 2 of your your strongest level 0 profiles are in yellow true. You have a Brainstorm in red and in blue. You have another plussing 0 utility card in blue, and your Fuka zeros in red. So like there's enough ubiquitous level 0 profiles that you could just play whatever ratios at level 0 and just have all 3 colors in your deck.
Yeah.
I think that this being like quote unquote the less good color is definitely like something to consider, but like I've played 3 color decks like this. I would say with the power level of comparable to this, that like it's not even a concession. Like you're playing 4 of this and you're probably playing 3 of the next card, which we'll talk about in a second.
Oh yeah,
but, like,
no.
everything else you can
like your best zeros are in yellow. But if you don't
Yeah.
want to make a yellow deck, that's 7 to 8 slots in yellow.
Okay, so even if you're playing a blue and red top end, like every other card
Yeah.
in your deck is going to be blue and
Be
red.
blue or
anyway.
red, yeah.
But having said that, I think you guys are really underrating this profile. I think you have to give this the A+. This is effectively the Denji, but with an upside, because neither that card nor the character facing it can side attack, so they have to swing into this for 35. Like when we've seen this in Seven Deadly Sins, when we've seen it in Chainsaw Man, it's been ubiquitous. Every deck has played it. The only deck that doesn't play this profile is Hololive. That card is also a clock condition for the Flare early play in that set. So
Yeah.
even then, sometimes it does see play for that
I
card.
actually did not know that. Shows how much I know about VTubers.
It's the clock condition for the Flare early play, and the Flare early play is either a 10k heal on play, or it can summon the Noel level 3 that is a on attack Icy Tail for 2. So like it can do either one. But anyway, this card I think you guys are really underrating. This card,
Yeah.
I would be happy to play 4 of it in any deck that is like. I looked at some of the top ends in this, and there's some pretty cool top ends. I would happily play 4 of this card, regardless of what top end I was playing in Umineko.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an easy A+ for me.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, resolves.
I mean, it averages out to what
Alright.
Weep said it was, so that works. All right, Gadget,
Yeah.
you go ahead and read next.
So this is Creator Claire, auto on play, pay 1, put top card of deck into clock. You can search your deck for level 1 or lower character. So it is True Ricky. When your other family or magic character attacks, this card gets 1,000 power on a turn. See, like, listen, like, I don't know if you understand this, but like, get your content up, man. You're good at editing. You're the Bochi guy. I'm a fan of Bochi. I'm a fan of your content. But unironically, the fact that this is the Levi Ricky, you're unintentionally glazing me here hard, man. Like actually, like, this is one of my favorite like cards they've ever printed.
Yeah. So
And,
funny
like,
story about
Levi's-
Levi Ricky. Yeah, this is just a straight copy of Levi Ricky, but one of my favorite sets in all of Weiss is Beaufry. So that was like my first set in Weiss was Nisekoi Extra Booster. Like I started playing around that time, 2016, 17, I think. And it was like, holy shit, like one of like my favorite harem anime ever. It's got like one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, Marika. Sure, I'll bite. I'll play this game. And
we don't talk about Marika on this program.
nah, she's
finish
my
it.
goat.
It's
She's
fine.
my goat. Waifu for Laifu. But a couple years pass, I play a couple new sets, and then Beaufry gets announced is Ricky. I'm like, this is awesome. It's a Ricky, and every time I get a reverse, I get an extra 1,000 power. That's so cool. And then like a year or two later, final season AOT, you just get a strictly better one.
Yep, 2 years later, straight upgrade.
So yeah, this is
we
just a
don't.
straight copy.
Marika is the face that sinks us 1,000 ships on this show.
Marika finisher. We keep reinventing the wheel. We keep bringing her back into life.
Marika keeps finishing me.
Oh god.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, Levi Ricky, easy A plus, whatever. So let's get to like the actual lore head situation on Claire. So Claire is the multiple personality of another character, which we'll get to in a lot of slides. So she is the personification of a character that is only referenced in the Umineko manga.
Oh.
Which is why one of these cards is obviously not from the visual novel. So this is technically her, and this is the only official sprite we've got of that character. But I will explain more about it once we get to that card, because that card has a lot of funny words on it. Flavor here is she essentially creates like the magical world in Umineko. So she's searching for like all the magic characters and essentially putting them in situations. Because that's kind of like the lore of Umineko, like in perspective of like the witch versus human battle side. They essentially have like a chess game where they take like the members on the island and put them in situations and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like the referee or whatever, kind of.
She is the original creator of the characters in the magical side of things. Essentially, almost any character with the magic trait in the set is her OC.
Okay.
So she really is a fanfic writer. She's made her
Yes.
OCs and is putting them in situations.
JP, it's you.
I can relate to that.
All right, so this card gains 1,000 whenever your other character attacks, right?
Correct.
Are there any level 0 or level 1 cards that can give characters on reverse skills?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There is
Okay,
a
so this
level
is-
1 combo in red that gives an on reverse skill.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
basically, that's helping me decide if this is just a straight A or an A+, because that can potentially scale
Yeah.
into the mid-game. I mean, I'm going to be biased because I love Levi anyway, but this is an
So A
for me.
plus, yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
the set's cracked.
I don't know if you've seen it. I have a max rarity Levi Waifu deck that I take to
I have
tournaments.
not seen it. No.
Yeah, it's legitimately max rarity.
So I didn't know that this was a Levi profile, and I think when I originally looked at this, I missed that it was like the 1 year other attack. So my primary note was just that like this is a big Ricky. Cool.
Yeah.
That feels kind of mid to me. I don't know, but
No,
apparently that's
it's
actually
really good. It scales real well.
so
It scales
Yeah.
really well,
I'll take
especially at
y'all.
level
It's
0.
I'll take y'all's word for it.
it's not my favorite Ricky profile, but the fact that it'll always win board is like
Yeah.
pretty cracked.
Like you could get this up to like
So it plushes you in hand, and then it's always like a sizable body on the third attack to crack over most things in
Right.
level 0.
yeah. That deserves an A. We're good. All right.
Yeah.
I think we're.
Oh yeah,
covered
there's
with
the
this one.
blue combo that gives an on-reverse effect too.
Yeah, actually.
I did read that one. I think that one's
Yeah.
probably better for level 1s, but it's
Oh
not
yeah,
terrible.
probably. Yeah.
I'm talking like, you know how some sets have a card that's like pay 1, rest this, give one of your characters.
Yeah, on-reverse
One spiral
salvage
opponent,
or
yeah, on reverse salvage or on reverse blind stock. That's kind of what I was thinking about. But yeah, climax combos are fine too.
Yeah.
Definitely works for this.
I'm pretty sure it's only climax combos that do that effect in this set. I don't think anything else gives effects.
We'll see. All right. Next up, that's your read. Weeb.
Alrighty, resisting fate, Leon. So not lion, Leon is how you pronounce their name.
Makes sense.
Not
French.
Levi either, apparently.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy.
Because resisting fate Levi is also a card.
Right.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's just like the
Must
what's
be
going on in
OT
these
on the
scenes.
brain.
Yeah, so 1-0 with a soul trigger, scary, 3k. During your turn, this gets 1,000 power for each of your other family or magic characters, so it'll become a 3k, 4, 5, 6, 7k on your turn. And combos with the choice. At the end of this card's attack, if Don't Stop Running is in your climax area and you have 2 or more other family or magic characters, if there is no character facing this card or the character facing this card is reverse, put up to 1 card from top of your deck into stock and choose a Black Blade Williard in your waiting room and return it to hand.
Card is good, but what did you base this off of?
That was my question too.
A mix between the Nijika choice combo, level 1 in Bochi, and the Jojo, Pesci, and Prosciutto combo in part 5.
God. Hold on. I'm
Oh,
pulling that one up
God.
on my phone.
How did I not recognize this was Pesci?
I had to represent like my favorite fight in JoJo's.
Yeah. No, that card's cracked.
Well, what made that one like
How did I
super
not-
good was because of what you like could do in that set. Because you had like the memory condition that pumped itself to make it a big wall,
Yeah.
and you also had
exactly.
just ways to discard like the dead prosciuttos in your hand to do other things. This set doesn't really have that.
It's still a double combo.
Yeah, still double combo, but the issue is I don't think there's anything in this set outside of like an on-play ditch draw that can turn your dead level 3s into real cards.
You have Fuka Zero at least.
Yeah.
I can potentially get more playable things. I don't know. I do like this. This is going to be my first big criticism of this set, and it's going to be one that you're going to hear me talk about a lot for the rest of this. But the rarities in this set are all over the place. This card, it was a rare in JoJo with a, like you said, a memory condition that made it sit big cross turn. This gets to like 8k with climax on turn, which is good. But you've traded the ability for it to have a soul trigger in order for it to sit small cross turn. And like I don't obviously we'll see what else the set has that can help it with survivability. Obviously in JoJo, you needed the Peshis to live because you had no other level 1 game plan. I think this card probably could be a rare. And the other reason I say that is because I've seen some of your uncommons in this set, and those cards probably should be rares, double rares, some of them.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
the thing.
I don't dislike this card, but I do think that you could potentially bump this down to a single rare or consider giving it a different first effect or not having it not have the soul trigger or something like that, right? And it's also nice that it kind of can double combo with your finisher here because I'm spoiling a little bit, but they do.
Yeah. They share the
work
same
off
combo.
That's why they're both on the slide.
Yeah, and why they're both in the climax art and both in the Leon art.
Yeah, this is not a spoiler. This is text.
Yeah, this is there's a lot of shit bait between them.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
they do look like they're the ship fit couple. Yeah, that tracks. So like, I had that same question about knowing what it's based on, and now having seen that card and then looking at this, I get the idea now. The soul trigger also means that this doesn't get up to 9k with the climax down on a full board, which means it's actually like a reasonable size. Like if this got to
It's a
9k,
yeah.
it'd be like, what the fuck, dog? Because it's 8k, and because of the way that like these combos have tended towards nowadays, where it's like, your level ones probably are dying on defense unless the set is specifically structuring them to not, like the Fiona Changer situation or whatever. I don't know. I feel like this is actually fine as a double R.
Yeah.
The plus definitely
It's
had me
funny
kind of
that
like wondering though, like because I was looking, it's like yeah, it's like a blind stock and grab a guy on a choice, and choice is already like known for doing those things normally. Like your choice trigger would get this guy, but now that I see that there's that card actually exists, and I just somehow didn't find it in my searches.
Yeah, but JoJo's didn't have choice trigger. It had
Oh yeah,
2
so that
wins.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Actually, no, I think it had
It's
3
funny that
wins
you
because it had the
mentioned
trial deck win too.
yep.
it's funny that you mentioned this sitting at 9k because in Marvel Volume 2 they just came out with that Guardians of the Galaxy combo. And that combo is it's a 4k base. On attack it gains 1,000 for every other character on your board. So 9k with climax, and then its combo is like on attack you can look at the top card of your deck, either leave it there or send it to waiting room, and then salvage.
Oh, so it
So it never
doesn't
whiffs.
it doesn't ever
Yeah.
care about reverses either.
Nope. It always wins board. It always gets you a salvage, but yeah, that card's a double rare. And I think that the Strictly Broken guys were hyping it up pretty high. I've played it a couple games and it was like kind of good. Problem is it doesn't give you deck speed, which Marvel kind of needs if you're not playing
Uh-huh.
very specific cards. This kind of has the same issue where you're not going to get deck speed off of this. I don't think there's going to be
No,
as big of an issue
hold
in
on.
this deck, but
So the Marvel combo is top check and leave it or mill it.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, it is the same amount of deck speed. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I was
this,
about to
you're
be
still
my
going to
way
run
out
that
of the
issue.
blind stock.
But in this, like, you do have quite a few ways that can get you the deck speed you need if you're playing like
Yeah, you got Fuka
the deck.
Zero, you got other stuff in this set that can go through your deck.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm really just trying to decide if I should come down this on the C plus side or the B minus side. I think I'm gonna go with C plus
Yes.
because there's already a comp on this set that I want to play a lot more than this card. So
I mean, same.
this card's gonna be brought down
Yeah.
by the fact that I'm gonna be playing that card probably as my level
Yeah.
1 combo.
Meantime, let's talk about the other half of this.
Oh,
Unless you have-
Williard H. Wright.
Yeah, this is a Black Blade Williard. If all your characters are family or magic, so if they're all characters that exist in the set, this card gets plus 3k. And on attack, if you have a choice in Climax area, you can pay 2, pitch 2, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's winning room, return them to their deck, your opponent shuffles, and deal 4 damage to your opponent. The primary note I have about this card, this is Ishtar combo, but you forgot to actually give it a level 3 effect.
It is in fact Ishtar combo. And my idea was, yellow has some good cards, and it's not supposed to be like the premier color of this set. What if I just made it a bigger body? Because like one of the reasons and also standbys in this set. So one of my other thoughts was if I don't give it like a heal effect and I just make it like an even bigger body, because like originally you played Ishtar in like standby door. So kind of like give you like the same kind of deck vibe as that deck was like, all right, have a standby level 1 combo into a powerful decompressor and burner at level 3.
So the issue is you didn't make it that big for that. This is
Yeah.
only 11.5. There is actually a level 3 effect that Steph found doing research that is just like flat during your opponent's turn this gets power. Or you could give it like President or something. Like there are level 3 effects that would actually get you here.
Yeah.
Because also what the problem with this is that it's under budget anyway on power.
Yippee.
So it needs something
Is it
to
really?
do. It needs something to do for 1k. Yeah, because the combo is only 500. So it's 1k under where it needs to be, and that
So-
1k under could
so
easily be
better-
like President or something, and
Yeah,
that covers
so
your level 3
better
effect and your
idea.
power.
Better idea. We just make it a 9/5. Better yet, we give it 3 soul.
No, you still need to cover
Yeah,
level 3
probably
effects.
3 soul.
That's the issue. The level 3 effects aren't something you can get around. I know, like it's something you have to include on the card somewhere. So you have to.
Oh,
find
that's
it
gonna make
placed-
one of these cards real funny.
Yeah, don't worry. I noticed. So, like, because of that, this card just legitimately just underperforms no matter what it's gonna do because it's missing that. And Ishtar combo already is like, there were thoughts mentioned in the Toho review about Ishtar combo because Boats actually has played that combo. I have never played it, so yeah, this
I
needs
never
something.
bought into Fate Go set 1, but I did borrow one of my friend's decks and played it, and I thought it was kind of fun.
By definition, gonna be underperforming until we fix that issue. We fix that
Yeah.
issue. Like depending on how it's fixed, this card could definitely get higher.
Yeah.
This is a. Oh, this is a single rare. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it deserves to be a single rare. It's a nice payoff for the voice combo. I don't think this is the first thing I would go to, but you might land on this.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. What you can do with this is if you decide you can do the 7 Deadly Sins thing, which is where if you decide that you're going to play the Elaine Magaro from set 1, you can decide at level 3 whether you're going to play your regular level 3 combo.
Oh yeah, because they
or
share.
You can, or you can go for the Bond, which is on attack, pay 2, burn 3, if you have the door. And this can be a potential payoff in this set as well, where like you could just be like playing the choice at level 1, which is kind of maybe less optimal, but it does get you stock. And then you may have one finishing combo like with the door finisher or like the magnify finisher. And then you might just slam 2 copies of this in. Like this is kind of why this needs level 3 effect, right? Even if it's just something dumb like on play top check X or like on play stock swap or something, just to name something, right?
Just to
like
make it a real card.
Like I think the Bond is like on play draw card or check 3 add something, right? Like obviously you don't want to copy 7 Deadly Sins entirely, but like the reason this needs level 3 effect is because it kind of helps you with the utility of throwing like 2 of this in some other deck just as an option, and depending on your matchup. With that in mind, I think that's a good enough upside for me to give it the C+, but I think I'm with JB. It's okay, but not great, considering I've seen some of what else the set is capable of. Also, that Bond is like an uncommon, so like this could go probably as low as uncommon, depending on how good you think the second effect is.
So if you wanted to encourage like a standby build, like you were saying, there's the if this card is in center stage, all of your characters get power effect.
Yeah, that would be a good
and that's only 500, so it'd sit at base 9k, and then also have that, and then just sit like 13.5.
Yeah. Ooh.
Which would
what a big boy.
Insane. But like that, if all you want is for this to sit big and do the combo, that is a thing you can absolutely do. And that would probably give it the like rare status, or maybe it switches places with the level 1 combo at that point. Not entirely sure. All right, you've said words. Let's say words about the next card.
Yippee, Banui.
This is a rare. Her name is
Chester.
Sister 00. When it's placed in station hand, choose one character in your opponent's center stage. It gets minus 1,000 power. And then it is a on reverse Rize. So on reverse, reveal up to 3. If you do, choose a character, add it to hand, then ditch one. It's really frustrating because like Weiss has come so far at these sort of on reverse profiles don't really see any play unless you have like a clean cut in your set or some other way to recur them. So this card's good. It's not bad. But no, yeah, it seems fine. I like this minus 1k on play effect. There's a Levi card in AOT that also has that effect, which is very nice. Yeah. So I've played that profile before.
There is going to be a lot of minus power for flavor reasons, especially with the Banuis, and a card we'll get to way later down the line.
Okay.
I did make a note about the minus power thing for these rabbits,
I should ask, actually. I don't remember seeing it, but does this set have clean cut?
No, it does not.
Yeah, I think the problem is you started off so strong with yellow, where you've given us already 2 really insane zeros already. That like, and I also know that there's an on reverse Kome in a different color, so I don't know how you justify playing this unless you really need the minus.
If you want to play yellow,
yeah, sure, like pure yellow, like mono yellow, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to build OTP.deck.
All right. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with this, I don't think. I'm just trying to be like, the hard thing about this is, right, I've had to do this in Scooby-Doo and other sets too. Obviously, you need to print cards in your set that make sense to print. And I will say this too, I'm the kind of nerd that likes to think about my set in terms of it being something Bushiroad would actually print, right? And when thinking about that from a product standpoint, right, not everybody's going to go out and buy the playset and have 4 Rickies and 4 Chasers, right? They're going to need to fill out their deck with like cards like this until they can get the pieces that actually end up being competitive. And this is a good card to print at rare. If you buy 3 boxes, you're probably going to end up with 3 copies of this, maybe 4 if it's an SR and you're lucky, right? And this is the card you can just squeeze in if you need to fix for yellow. Provides some needed utility, helps you cancel, and if your deck isn't optimal, these cards can help you cancel. I only bring it up because I only bought 3 boxes of Ayakashi, and all I could do was build an upgraded trial deck basically with what I pulled. It definitely helps to have cards
Yeah.
like this at uncommon or rare to help kind of fill out slots for new players. I do want to give you credit for that.
That's my
Thank
primary
you,
note, I
Ben.
think, is that
Yeah.
this would be better as an uncommon. Like, I think of like the Leica Rico back row that's like every time a character direct attacks, give -1k. That's also fucking admin.
Mhm.
They print that common because they just don't realize that admin is like a rare or double rare worthy effect a lot of the good time. They're just like, everyone should have this, it's fun.
I don't
This is.
think just Bushiroad really cares about rarity unless it's a card they want to push.
Mm,
Because like we see cards that
that's also possible, yeah.
like a very great example that I like to refer to is that they print like just generic 2K counter, like 102K counter at rare in a lot of sets.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
So like Bushiroad doesn't really care about rarity
Yes, much as.
unless it's like the cards they want to push. Those are going to be your double rare
Yeah.
cards.
I went on a
That's
whole rant
fair.
about Fuka Zero in one of our other videos because like that card inexplicably gets printed at every rarity depending on what the secondary effect is. Same with Memory Kick. Like inexplicably, some sets will
Yeah.
get Memory Kick at common, and then some sets will get it at rare.
It's
Like
a rare,
Avatar got
yeah.
it at rare. Ayakashi got it at common. Like I think it's in. I mean, Marvel got it at a bunch of different rarities because like 3 of them are promos. I think Hololives was an uncommon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Hololive got it uncommon. But the other thing is Hololive has a metric buttload of counters, and none of them are rares. They're all like uncommon or lower,
Yeah.
weirdly, except for the Hachima from set 1, and that's only a rare because it's also a
brainstorm.
brainstorm.
Dormer.
Yeah, so like I feel like for that for the same reason that Gadget was mentioning, like because this is a custom set, there isn't gonna be like that competitive build like funneling. But if there hypothetically was, and this is a card that people are either playing for like some specific build or because they need a fill in because they only got so many packs, I think having this sit at uncommon would make it feel better. Because there's also, again, like we've said, some cards we would want to rarity bump in its place to make it,
Yeah,
because
that's true.
there are some cards that should be lower rarity so that more people can play them. Like I feel like that's probably part of the logic of like something like Aqua Wiki being common or whatever. So if you have a really good card you want
Eh,
everyone to play, sure, push it by being lower rarity. That doesn't mean that it should be like a ridiculous overstep, but this is a case where like you could definitely put this at a lower rarity and it would feel
I
good
mean,
to
I
pull
think
at that
Yeah.
versus like pulling this in a pack as your rare and being like, well, shit, this was a dead pack and moving
Like,
going
yeah.
forward. I do
yeah,
like
I
that
think
the minus variety thing is a common theme, and I do think this card
yeah.
is about where you're putting it. Yeah.
I think Aqua is just a mistake in general, but like there are plenty of other excuses for that. Like I'm glad the Kai in Guilty Gear is an uncommon because it means you don't have to buy box after box after box to play a card that gives you deck speed in that deck. And Guilty Gear did something interesting where like your card that gets you stock at level 1 is a double R instead. And like I don't know, there's less like ubiquitous zeros in that deck, but a lot of the double R's in that deck are actually cards you would want to chase, like your Brainstorm for
Oh
Ramlet
yeah.
Fall.
Yeah.
But they also printed some of the cool combos at double R, not like necessarily the good ones, but the cool ones, like the Soul, like the May, like the
Yeah.
Baiken, while keeping the generic ones, like the more obviously the Soul is in the trial deck, but like the Ramlet Fall is a rare, the Gold Lewis is a rare. All those things are definitely playable, and they're playable at like rare. That's something that you can
Yeah.
like play to. You've kind of got that in the set as well, which is good. Anyway,
Yeah. Next meme.
Next me.
Whoa.
You get to read two
Guided.
cards.
Yeah, I get 3 cards if I'm lucky.
3 cards.
That's the next slide. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Guided sniping system,
Ooh.
410 and 45. 3-2, 5K, 2 soul, got the magic and furniture trait. Assist all your family or magic characters in front of this card gain 1500 power. When this card is placed on stage from your hand or by a fusion effect, look it up the top X cards. X is the number of traded characters. Choose one to hand, rest to drop. Act rest, choose one of your opponent's positions on their center stage, and the character in that position gets minus 2k until end of turn.
Ooh, yeah.
And so it's a fusion target. So Chester Sister 45 is just the generic shuffle back 2 on play and then fusion with the Chester 410. This card is worded specifically this way, the last effect. In the lore, when they do their data link, which is like kind of like what they're doing, they're sniping together. When they do their data link, they cannot miss.
Oh,
So this effect gets around hexproof.
yeah.
Got it.
That was my big note about the card. is that looking at the math on it, it's like this card is treating that effect as if it costs 4K, which because it gets around hexproof, I think is totally fair.
Oh yeah.
But as a note.
So when I was originally like making the set, I was like, how do I do this? And then they announced free run for English, and I was like, wait a minute. So
Oh,
this
the
is like my
first.
take on the English translations of that effect, because I'm pretty sure free run is the only set that has that effect in it. That like targets a position rather than a character.
Yeah.
I definitely hadn't seen it before,
At the
except on
moment.
customs. So like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I do have one kind of gripe with this. So like this card's great and all, and obviously the card in free reign everybody plays so that you can mess with Eins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how big the Eins 1/1 is? It's 3,500.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're
So
mad
you
because this
can't
can't
just
kill? Well, this
yeah,
only
you
does
can't
center
just
Center
stage.
stage, yeah.
Oh yeah, that
It's not
too.
backstage
Okay. Well,
cover.
anyway.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
no, I'm not making this
Yeah, no.
backstage. Absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
I'm
I'm
not
not
that,
that evil.
in that case, then like I guess it's fine. Then I don't know. Like that's kind of the implication. I was like, can you actually sync anything of note with this? And the answer is not really.
But you do get a
And
3/5 power swing, which
yes,
is
that
a
is true.
very big deal.
I'm not saying that's bad at all. No, it's not. And I do think also that this is definitely a reason you would play. Not only is this a reason you would play Umineko, this is a reason you would try to fix for yellow in Umineko. This card is going to help you so many things in this deck, like clear boards that you wouldn't normally otherwise.
Which is going to really help on your red finisher.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking just in general,
In general, yeah,
getting
but no, like one of your red
getting to win
finishers
board
needs
is
like the
just.
board to be be cleared, so this is a very
Oh,
good
that's right. I
tool
do
for
remember
that.
that. Yeah. I just think in general, like, there's not a lot of decks in the meta. Like, I remember from your video, right?
Yeah.
Mirren is a deck that's incredibly hard to answer for a lot of decks in the meta. I think this card lets you answer Mirren pretty easily because you can't clear all three of them with this. But what you could do is if you manage to get like 3 of your early plays down and they all have, if they're all sitting at 10-5, right? This is going to put them at 12k. So you can either use the minus 2,000 to help you win 2 lanes, or if you get your board to be big enough, you can use the minus 2k on the third lane that this isn't getting the assist from, and potentially win all 3 lanes, or force your opponent to counter. That sort of spread, I think, is really good. I remember seeing a lot of early plays in this set. So,
Yeah.
Bunny.
Nui. I love these little shitheads so much. 410, the blue one, is my favorite of the 4 shitheads.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that as well. I think it's probably correct.
Yeah, when I first was making my notes, I was coming down a lot harder on this because I am not thinking about the current meta because I don't really play like locals or tournaments anymore. You know, I'm in it for like the art of the design or whatever, right? So like I was looking at this, I was like, all right, so this is a back row marker compression. The power is interesting, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. But now, like hearing you guys talk about it, this is probably where it's gonna end up for a lot of my notes. Is like hearing y'all talk about it, be like, oh, okay, I understand now where all this is coming from. So yeah, I'll give the B plus now because that
Maybe this card is just Armin. All right, you're not playing it because it's a fusion target. You're playing it because it's an early play top check X that also gives assist. You know,
see
it's just Armin.
It's AOT
This
logic.
man
I don't.
cannot stop making connections to AOT.
That's his like yeah. It's his
I
set
made
where
one AOT. I made one card inspired by AOT. Everything's AOT.
Yeah, because like both of us both have like our IPs, right? Like
Yeah.
Gadget is Gadget is an AOT player. I'm a Hololive player. Like if it's a Hololive thing, I got you on lock for a profile. But if it's not, I had to check for something probably. Like that's
Yeah.
So
All
like,
right then. Then you'll
this
understand
isn't.
once we get to the real shitheads in yellow.
I mean, let me be clear too. This card isn't exactly Armin, but like
Oh yeah, no.
that's what this is. It's an early play top check X assist and incidental third effect. You know, this card is fine as like a 1 or 2 of, depending on how badly you think you need it in your deck, and it's not really a downside to play it. You know, it's just fine.
So that raises the question. Would you play the fusion package to support it then, or would you just play this raw?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
because that's how you early play it.
That's how you early play Armin. You get like the 2/1, tap it, pump power, give it a hexproof, and then end of turn, play Armin over it.
Right, that's the change.
Yeah, it changed into the Armin. Yeah, so like the incentive to play this is you do the fusion, so you have it for your first turn of level 2, and you get the top 2 kicks immediately.
And you're willing to play like the however many slots it's going to take to make that consistent enough for it to actually matter.
Yeah, it's only like in AOT, it's only a 2/2 split of the Armin, and this it would be like a 2/2/2 or like maybe a 2/1/1,
a 2/3/2 split maybe. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're playing a selective combo, like if you're playing the book combo, or not the book combo, the magnify combo, and you can just use
Yeah,
your
you can just
level
rip
1
these
turn
out
to
of
get.
out of deck. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Right, this set has magnify.
So
That actually
so like
would
you
really
only
help
need
this.
Yeah.
you only
Okay.
need like 1 or 2 copies of the 0, 1 copy of the level 2, and then 1 or 2 copies of the 3, depending on if you want to hard play it or not.
Okay, I'm on board. I get it. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
This is 410. Assist all your characters in front of this, get 500 power, and you can pay 1, choose your character in your opponent's center stage to give that character minus 1k until end of turn. Which I now...
Repeatable minus 1k.
Yeah, I realized only after, like, in the moment of like, oh, wait, that's why that the fusion gives minus 2k, because the two of them working together.
Yeah, the two of them shoot.
Yeah. So it's, yeah.
They're data linking.
Yeah.
This is cute. At least.
I don't know. Would you pay 2 stock to kill your opponent's 2k runner?
So like,
Now,
not
here's.
stock.
Are you asking me if I could get pay 2 stock to deny their plus and push an extra damage?
Well, when you put it that way.
So
Yeah.
like, there are worlds where like if Lyco Recco had a card that was just like spammable minus power, I would like get in the sim and play that shit just so I could do that and have the direct attack bullshit. Like I'd be all about that life. As it is, it's just like she's a cute little bunny. You play her for the fusion package. Like
she is
see her.
she is the funniest bunny.
I think it's also important to point out this is just a repeatable stock out. Like you don't
Yeah.
really need this outside of the fusion, but like if you do get flooded and your stock just has shit in it, you can just be like, all right, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
So when
and
you're playing the 10 event deck,
yes,
and you
that.
get one of your events in stock.
Oh, that's right.
Go. And you get something out of it, whereas there are some decks that are their stock outs are like, I don't know, you're paying stock. I don't know what you're doing it for. This is like
I have so many things to say about that event when we get to it. By the way,
Oh baby.
I hope you know there are gonna be words. You're gonna get it, man. You're really gonna get it. This card's like a C minus, but like it's definitely playable.
Yeah.
You play this with a fusion.
Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world to have in it. It's like a lot of fusions, like they would put like a brainstorm or something on this, like another kind of back row utility that you'd be running a bunch of anyway. Because this is more like a less ubiquitous utility card.
Yeah.
That means that you actually have to think about the splits on it. But I mean, it for the flavor reasons, like it's totally fine that it does this. All right.
Ready.
All right.
Next card.
Can I read this one?
You're back to
Yeah.
you.
All right. I am checking something really quick.
Checking that call out post you made on the custom Weiss chat.
What,
Looking
me?
at Anya. Oh no, not you. JB. Yeah. Apologies.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% looking at Anya actually. That's actually what I'm doing.
Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead and read the card. I'll cover the audio effects. I got you.
All right, so this is Inquisitive Author Featherine. She gets 1,000 power for each of your other family or magic character in backstage, so 11/5 cross turn. And then Climax combo with the choice. When she attacks, if writing your demise is in your Climax area, you can pay 1, ditch 1. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, choose up to 3, put them on top in any order, put the rest to waiting room. So it mochas your opponent for 3.
Nope.
So, JP,
I'm performing the combo.
Is,
Wait, hold on.
he wrote to my...
there you go.
Got him. Alright, so let's be real for a second. Does this card actually need a level 3 effect?
It really does. The Anya heals when it does the
Hilarious.
combo, and this doesn't. If it did, it would go down to 9k, and it would be perfectly on budget.
Yeah.
So
It would also probably have to be a double rare depending on level 3 effect.
I don't want to say I was unfamiliar with Anya because I knew that card existed, but when I was looking up cards for like this type of effect, the card that came to my mind immediately was the level 3 ice from Don Machi.
Oh my god,
I played
okay.
that card.
Alright, good. So you know the card that I was going to suggest that you modify this around to get you a level 3 effect on it. Alright, we're good.
Well, like that was like I just like took the wording for the combo. Like the reason like I didn't want to add too much to this card was because it is a change target for a different card in yellow. So it's like because that card has a level 3 and the change. Do I really want to give this like a level 3 effect? I didn't realize that every level 3 needed a level 3 effect because I'm not
That is the one staple
So.
thing about level 3s, is that they all have a level 3 effect. However, that's why the Anya puts the heal in the combo. That's the reason, like, all of the Spy Fam level 3 combos that have a changer into them, that's why all their combos are the way they are, because they're using that level 3 effect as, like, a way to cheapen the combo or to do something else with it. Like, yours, getting 4k power and it burned 4 out of just paying a stock. The Anya is getting this Mocha effect and the heal out of it. And if if the changer is a heal, then you'd probably need to find something else for it. If that's not a heal, then yeah.
No, the changer is a heal. I do know that.
So if this would
this
need
card is a
something
changer?
Yeah, that's we'll get to in yellow, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, it's in yellow. It's like the second to last card.
Yeah. We can bounce it up and
Yeah,
talk
we
about
can.
it immediately after.
I think we should,
we could
because
just scroll all the way down.
this is a normal set review, right? Like this would be something that you would 100% want to cover.
All right. I'll just drag it up. Someone else has done it. We're good.
I already dragged it up. We're good.
You go ahead and read it, then get it. Oh, no, you guys are
okay. So
go ahead and read it.
Hachio Toya. If your waiting room has 2 or less climaxes, early play, on play on stage, you heal and start a climax, sack it, choose Inquisitive Author Featherine, and put on the stage that this card was on.
So, like, another criticism I have for this set is there's a ton of cards that can early play here. Regardless of early play condition, there's just a ton of them that can. So I did want to talk about that right off the bat, but I think there's a world where you could get a lot more creative with this. Like, you know how, like, the Kanata counter has, like, the climax combo where you can pop it back to hand? I'm not saying you do that, but
originally I was kind of thinking of having this be a pop back to hand rather than a sack change. I don't remember why I decided against it. Well, I know I had a reason, but I do not remember anymore.
This would fix your problem, because again, I have a problem with you having a lot of early play level 3s in the set. If this was a 2-1 or even a 2-2 that didn't heal and had some incidental effect like gaining power and then doing the change, right?
Yeah.
That would mean you could put the level 3 heal effect on, her.
On the Featherine, yeah.
You could and you could even like limit it so that it only heals when it changes, which would make it a 500 power demerit instead of a 1k demerit. Which you could justify like making this even like still sit potentially bigger than it would cross turn. There's ways you could finesse it so that it's different from how it is right now, right? Because like we're trying to figure out how we're getting a level 3 effect on this card. But either way, it's not terrible. I'm just trying to like be constructive here, right? What other things?
No, you hate me. I get it.
But no. I mean, here's the thing too, right?
Most people do.
We
don't have to lie to me.
We're Hololive players, right?
Yeah.
We are no strangers to cards that can early play themselves.
Yeah.
We've already got a fusion in this set. You don't have the flare summon, which would be like a pay 2 rest self to summon.
Yeah, to summon something
this
from
early,
hand.
like Rushia, right? You don't have the Kanata bounce back effect. You don't have the Fubuki, which again, pay 2 rest 2.
Pay 2 rest.
Early play the Hachima, Hololive has so many ways that you can early play things that are more creative than just 2 or less climaxes or 4 or more characters. The point is, like, these cards aren't bad, but like, be more creative.
They're boring, yeah. I am not a very creative person. I just see cute girls. I was like, I want to put that on a card.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think Parker's biggest criticism of my Scooby-Doo set was that it was, at least the initial version, was just a bunch of Crimson Hololive profiles that I stole, and now the actual set's kind of still like that, but
wider range of things you've stolen from at minimum.
And the profiles fit the flavor of the card art better. Like, as long as this fits the flavor of the character, that's the bottom line. Like, it doesn't matter that you stole this
character,
whatever Ai's character, like it still works.
Yeah. So the Hachio Toya, like her effect in this story, Hachio Toya is an author about a series of books that are based off the events on Rokenjima, which is the island where the murder happens. And she also has the identity of Featherine, which is like her witch form, quote unquote. And Featherine's powers are essentially Heaven's Door in JoJo.
Oh, okay.
Why don't I remember what that is? Is that the one from
that's Kishibe? That's Kishibe's Heaven's Door. So
it's just like, I'll just write in here that you fly 1,200 yards away and you slam your head against the wall, breaks your neck, and you die. That is her power.
Okay. So does she use it like Kishibe does, or does she use it like a Death Note?
So we only get like one scene where she actually uses it.
Okay.
And the way she uses it is she's in a fight with another witch, and she's just like, all right, you're challenging me. Here, let me write how you lose to me. And like the entire scene, rather than being a fight, it's just her thinking, all right, how can I make this into a good story about how you lose?
Gotcha.
But she is a author first and foremost. So like the idea is she's like kind of like picking at your deck and like writing out how you lose by removing the climaxes.
Okay. So, like, I think the thing I would actually do to give this the level 3 effect is drop the power condition and give it one of those cheap, like, give it an on play 1500 and
All right.
like a cheap 500 effect. I'm thinking of like the top 3 rearrange your deck and bounce the guy, or top 3
Yeah.
rearrange your deck and something else. Like, there's a couple of effects like that that would like kind of also feed into that a bit. Also
Yeah.
get you a level 3 effect, also give you like a decent swing in on the turn you're using the effect. But I also see why you'd want the power static anyway, because this is an
Because it's
early
an
play
early play.
combo, and
So you
like,
kind of want it to live.
and especially because like, part of the reason I didn't move the changer was that I ended up like I was going through them in card order, and the notes I have on it ended up like involving another card.
Crazy.
Basically, because like this is a changer combo, your opponent can't level starve you out of getting this out, right? Like if
Yeah.
they push you to level 2-0, you're good. Or if they push you to 1-6, you're good. As it is, it underperforms a little bit, but not as much as you would expect because it has that changer. If this card was printed as written, and you'd have all of us custom Discord people mauling about how they printed a card without a level 3 effect, like the fact this has the early like the changer
Yeah.
would still give it utility enough that because the other choice finisher also is currently missing a level 3 effect, I would pick this one over that one. Just because like
So
I get a
hold on.
heal one way or the other.
So we got like what, one more level 3 in this color, and that one also doesn't have a level 3 effect. We're cooking.
Oh god, right.
We're cooking.
I forgot.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that is my note on that card too. Yeah, man. Like, you put the level 3 effect on the changer. Like, there's the material understanding. Level 3s have level 3 effects. But it's one of those things like that a lot of people just don't catch. And the only reason that as many people have gotten it at this point is, I think, because the custom Discord exists and we've been telling people this is
Yeah.
how this works. If it weren't for,
Yeah.
like,
And I
Spyro
haven't
and
really
Pyro-
shared any of the cards from this set. Like, I think I've only shared 2 or 3 cards from this set.
You shared like some of the real like, yo, wait, what's going on with these cards? Because I remember having conversations about them or being involved in the
Yeah.
conversation about them. But yeah, a lot of these were definitely like, as I was putting this together, like first reads. This card, as it is, I think is still like a
B.
yeah, a B minus. I think yeah, probably B minus. If it had a level 3 effect, it'd probably go
It'd be
to
a B
like,
plus.
and it'd be like double rare, and it'd
Yeah.
probably be like actually depending on it might sit at more like an A minus. You could really push some
Yeah.
stuff with this if you wanted to.
I think this card is like fine, and there might be metas where you'd play it, but I think for me, because the what is his name? Willard.
Williard, yeah.
Yeah, I think because he has the double combo, I'd rather try that.
¿Por qué no los dos? You can early play this.
Yeah, this could be your other combo that deck. You could play 8 choice.
You can play 8 choice.
Oh dear God, that's true.
And it would actually synergize very well because you're playing a high density of level like choice trigger cards. Because the level 1 has a choice trigger, the changers also has a choice trigger on it because it is a changer, not like even if it was like a Kamata backup situation, it'd still have a choice trigger on it. So like, however you slice this, yeah, you can play these together, and you probably would, yeah.
When you put it that way.
That's another reason to play yellow with this anyway, because
Yeah.
there's another card. So like,
I don't know. Let's just give this a straight B.
Yeah.
good. I think I am actually gonna.
Look at
Now
that,
that I'm
look at
thinking
that,
about that
yeah.
too, just because like that works out really pretty. I like that.
Look, most of the set's already coded the Civ. If you want to try it.
Are there ways to generate stock besides just choice triggers in
Oh,
this?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess your level 1 combo gets you stock.
Yeah.
There's level 1 combo. There is, I know, like a card in blue. There's a card in red. Actually, there's 2 cards in red. There's like a lot of ways to get stock in this set.
So I know there's a free fresh in this deck that's pretty easily accessible. So you can like Level 0 on average gets you 3 stock. You can triple your level 1 combo. That puts you at 9 stock
stock.
going into level 2. However you free fresh, you can easily get 2 copies of the changer to double at level 2 and do the combo twice to just push damage, and then 2 copies of the Williard at level 3 to seal the game. Not even really trying. That's that might be a game plan. Yeah, that's
feels like
it's
a game
something
plan,
for
yeah.
sure.
If you want to play yellow Umineko, there's your deck list.
Congrats.
Well, all right
we got
then.
you. We got you out there.
Yeah,
Umineko enjoyers.
and you play the what's it called? The funny haha fusion combo to like dig for your climaxes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we
also-
already established we're playing that in every
Yeah.
deck, but yeah. I mean, I'm
Also,
playing it
because
in
the
every
girls
deck.
are cute.
Yeah. Make
I
your
mean,
board big.
Yeah.
If you want good girls in sets, you put them on good cards. Makes sense to me. All right.
Yeah, we'll get to the refresh card later, but it is
Yeah.
beginning of main phase if you have it as an alarm
If in
at
your
top of your
clock,
clock.
yeah.
So you can literally just, apropos of nothing, like immediately set yourself up going into level 2 to just early play all your 2 or less climax cards. That's pretty good.
Funny thing, that character with the free fresh does have a very close relationship with this character as well. So that is
That's cool.
also flavor plus for that.
Yeah. As a Bochi enjoyer myself, it is the getting to play stuff for 2 or less climaxes at level 2 and have your free fresh at the end of your opponent's turn, so you can set yourself up. That's very common play pattern in that deck. So I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the lines here.
Seeing the
The
lines
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of influenced by Bochi.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah. Crying anime
can I
girl,
read this
let's
one?
go!
And now my confession is truly over. This should be enough to find the motive of the crime. It's Claire again. If all your characters are family or magic, it gains 2k power. Cross turn. Wow. Climax combo with this shot trigger. Ditch a card on attack if you have the shot in the climax area. And you have another character, you may look it up to 3, add up to 3 family or magic characters, and reveal them, put them into your hand. It's ski.
It's Itsuki on a shot, obviously, but the main difference is Itsuki and Bochi, they need experience for the combo, but they also grab event. This does not grab an event, so it does not have experience.
But it's so much easier to set up. Yeah, that's the trade-off.
The combo also needs to say 2 or more trait. I know that I've gotten that right in other places on other reviews before, but just did not hear for some reason. Don't know why. Anyway.
Honestly, considering how many high-level cards you're already playing in mono yellow, like you could probably just
you could
put
do it.
on this and,
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna have to dock you points here because, love me some Bochi. I absolutely despise Itsuki, and I cringe every time I have to play the Bochi combo because, it's the best card in the deck, but I'm playing Itsuki. It's the same
Just
thing.
play the Rio combo.
No.
Pay 1 stock, get 3 cards for your drop.
No, I don't want to play the Beatles. No.
But she's best girl.
I don't want to play the Beatles.
You're not wrong. I would sooner play the
Nijika, the
other one's
Dorito,
really
yeah.
good.
No, I've tried building the Rio combo because she is my favorite character. You can't.
I don't know. If you want to play the shot level 1, this card's not even bad. It's so crazy that this is on an uncommon, but the trigger is just so bad that it's probably justified to put it as the uncommon.
Well, no, this is you bought 3 boxes and you wanted to play yellow. Here's your combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good as a budget option. It's crazy good as a budget option.
I'm almost concerned that it's too good as a budget option, but
I'm even with that shot trigger, I'm still sitting here.
Yeah.
Itsuki is an insane profile to me. Just you can just go +2 by swinging. You don't need to reverse. You don't need anything. Just swing. It's fine.
There is one downside to this. You don't have any cards that buff your hand size in this set, do you?
No, there is none.
That was a problem I also encountered when talking about this profile in Paru's Toho set. That one doesn't have a plus hand size either. But it's it refills your hand, but it's probably also going to go over unless you
dump your hand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, going overhand isn't actually a problem if you can refresh during your combo. You stay overhand so you can still compress into your next deck and then ditch those extra cards later.
Yeah.
But because this doesn't hit on events, you are either going to have to restrict your deck because there's a couple good events in the set that you'd want to try to play to. It also means that like you basically have to be playing this at a specific point at level 1 for it to really pay off. Otherwise, those extra pluses, you're just going to be dumping them away. That's kind of a downside. This card is not bad in a vacuum. In fact, this card is insane in a vacuum. But I think in the context of this set,
Yeah.
this is like the third or fourth best level 1 combo I think we've seen. I mean, just from going from my memory of looking at everything, but like,
there's a lot of level 1
know what?
combos in this set.
Well, let me double check something here because I'm just gonna quickly glance. See, that card's good, but I don't think you'd play it. And then the Magnify one's like absolutely busted bonkers.
I guess we'll talk about that when we get to it.
I don't know. Would you play the book combo? Oh, actually, you would play the book because it gets you the event. Yeah, this is like probably the third or fourth best combo in the set, honestly. And it's still like a straight B. That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You know, if Volk was here, Volk would find a way to play the choice level 1 combo and probably this.
Oh no, I was literally thinking about that as we were sitting
Well,
here.
no, you played that as your level 1. You played this as your level 1 combo, and the choice as your level 3.
Yeah, and then you have those like extra 1/0s as like if you can't find the shots, but you still play like a 4-2-2 or something.
That was originally how our friend built gamers. He played Korone and Okayu in the same list with Korone level 3 as his finisher because she has a double combo with Korone level 1. So he would try to play Okayu at level 1, but if he happened to get the Corones, he would just slam those instead and have just that was all he did at level 1. And so he had 4 Okayu, 4 Korone, and 4 of the gamers, and that was all he played.
I built that,
and he actually won a locals with it. Like,
my God, I built that deck too, and I got nowhere near the results he did.
Obviously, it's like Magical Christmas Land, but there is a world where you could justify playing. Because remember, right? This is a shot combo. What does your other level 1 combo have? That's right, it has a soul trigger. So even if you're not playing the choice, it's still helping you potentially trigger harder. And if you are playing the choice, there you go. You can just get free stock with it. You know, I'm not saying you should do that, just that you can do that.
It is feasible.
All right. Speaking of feasible things, next card.
JB, you want to read this one?
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I think you're the most familiar with this profile.
Yeah.
I'm the most with this profile?
Oh no, he's saying that I read this because we flip slots on the other card, and also so here's we'll talk about this because this is actually a profile that the ability I don't usually use when I play that deck. When I played that deck, this is Bodyguard Amakusa. Whoever M. Zaki is that like a musician or something? Is that
yes? So M. Zaki is a real life musician who canonically exists in the game of Umineko. He made songs for Umineko.
Like this one.
So there's a character Anji. He is her bodyguard, and essentially drama happens. Angie's family is dead. People are after her money. So this is her bodyguard essentially. In Umineko, like they kind of like time jump a lot, not like the characters, but like the perspective of the story jumps a lot in time. So like you see a lot of 1983, and then it got a lot of like 1990 whatever, 1999. You get a lot of like those different like time jumps. So like you'll have this like really sad, somber, emotional driven scene back in like 1983. And the screen fades to black, and then the first thing you hear is and Monochrome's clock starts playing.
I see.
So it's like that one Family Guy bit where Peter's like crying himself in the car because like some sad music's playing, and then like the next song comes on, he's like super happy, turns to the camera's like, I'm really influenced by music.
They don't have to.
And Angie just hates Imzaki, and he's like, there's like 2 or 3 times like this bit happens, and she's just like, turn that shit off, please, Amakusa. So you should totally listen to Monochrome Clock. It's a banger.
Yeah, may even be hearing it right now.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
You are not the only good editor in this call, as it turns out.
You think it's good?
I do what I can. But yeah, so this is Bodyguard Amakusa. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay 1 to switch this card with another one of your family or magic characters. So very fitting for a bodyguard. And then it's on reverse, early play killer Stock Bomb. The trade-off that it's very interesting in a set where 8 choice is a thing you'd probably be considering playing is that this is 2 soul instead of having a soul trigger. This is a card that exists in SDS, except that you move the soul trigger into its soul instead, which is fascinating.
This is in
So-
Seven Deadly Sins.
This is
yeah.
Elizabeth
So originally it was
breaking
an
the
exact
soul.
copy as that Elizabeth. I was like,
Oh,
I should make this more interesting. And then I thought about
that's
the
okay.
then I thought about
I thought this was.
the
I thought this was the
Bochi.
Yoshino Adachi from Data Life.
Yeah. Then I thought about the Bochi Fumio, and I was like, that has 2 soul. What if I gave this a soul? Because my thought process was when you're using an Adachi like this, you are swinging in under to remove a body for the price of taking more damage on the swing back because you have an open lane. The idea of this is that because you're getting an extra soul to push with on the field already to kind of even that out on the swing back.
Okay, yeah. So this is just the Yoshino Adachi, just the same as Elizabeth. They're the same card.
Those both have soul triggers. I didn't
Oh,
want to
no,
give
yeah,
this a soul trigger because I thought that'd be too much to give a level 1 cost 1/2 soul and a soul trigger.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no,
you
yeah,
probably
no.
can't have both. If it had both, it would probably be a rare, and it would be hilarious in the choice deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be
So,
absolutely
I-
hilarious.
I think for me, you've done something interesting with this profile, which, let's be clear, is on the ban list.
Oh,
And like
For
in
Data
certain,
Live.
yeah, even in Seven Deadly Sins, like the decks that can play this card, 100% will play it. It's not played in Escanor because you're not trying to play for like the mid game, but in the
Like the 6 standby
Meliodas
2 choice, yeah.
yeah, you will 100% see
You
people
jam
play like
this
one of
in,
this
yeah.
card. Not even for the Adachi effect, but because it can field
Because
swap
it can
itself
field
with something
swap.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Bro, I played this in
so-
8 standby Bochi. Not Bochi, Bofuri.
yeah, so
Like just the vanilla field swap. I played that in Bofuri.
I think that you've put an interesting twist on it. The fact that it doesn't have a soul trigger is going to mean it's anti-synergistic with like every other choice thing that's trying to play with it. But to your point, there's no risk of doing that if you know the card's good in general, and we do know the card's good because it's been banned before. So I think this is an interesting twist on the profile. It's something different that I actually approve of. Like I think it's a good thing to do. Good on you for that.
Yeah. Yippee.
The cool thing about this, I didn't even think of this. Maybe you already talked about it. I was kind of zoning out because I was looking up the. No, because I was looking.
You're
No,
looking
he
at
just
the
does
source.
not care. Yeah.
I was looking up Yoshino is what I was doing
Yeah.
while you were talking before. But like, did you mention that this card can side attack without penalty, basically?
I hadn't said that, but that is a very fun
Yeah.
note.
So like the thing with Adachis is you don't typically hard play them unless there's something you actually want to remove. But in this card's case, if you happen to stand by it or just decide to hard play it, you can actually like have this kind of just sit out there. You can side.
If you
can
side a
into
level
something
1,
that's
yeah.
not bigger than their level, and then just kind of leave it there as bait for your opponent. Like, all right, fuck with me, play your early play. Come on, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
or if your opponent, because your opponent knows that you can field swap, they'll be like, oh, maybe I won't play my early play because I don't want it to get hard removed, right? Like,
Yeah.
depending on the matchup, that's actually a very interesting implication. Like, you can actually just kind of hang this out there. It's not like bait. It's just like, you know how like a matador uses a red cape to enrage a bull?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. Like, you're kind of just
Hold on,
putting it out there like,
let me
what's
add
up?
a fecal
What are you
plumbing
gonna do
to this.
about it? I'm gonna side attack you. You gonna try to out me? Huh? What are you gonna do about it? And then you can just have him run away with the field swap, depending on what your opponent's doing. Like I think that's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, that is hilarious. I love how like my notes going into this were a lot more pessimistic, and then just like any sort of content. I think I kind of like this card initially, but I also initially thought in my head there was no way you'd build an 8-choice deck because my brain had
Mhm.
not put together some things. But now that we're talking about, 8 choices, like actually a thing you could do, it's like, all right, that's a small minus for this card. But this card's freaking insane. When you mentioned
Yeah.
that you thought that this was a card I was familiar with, the angle that I thought you were coming at was, oh yeah, he plays 8 Standby Alola. He runs the Kanada in his deck. That's a card that, like, I think I've been on record talking about the deck playing it. Like, I get why people play it. I don't play Standby like a normal
There we
human
go.
being, so it's not like a big thing for me.
I found it. I found the funny.
But yeah, and then Data Life, right? My Data Life collection is set 2
Oh,
and
boy.
some cards I bought specifically to play the Toka deck and my Karumi 8 choice. So I didn't ever buy the Yoshino. I didn't remember that card at all. So I don't have that much
didn't-
experience with that or any.
You didn't play the Yoshino in your Toka deck?
No. I never played with a card that actually that was doing field slop at level 1. but it's so
The
funny.
other hard thing about this set review we're doing is like there's some really absolutely cracked cards in blue that we're gonna get to in a while, like a long time. But it's worth pointing out that this set did get one of the most powerful level 1 combos in White Schwartz, which is the Corone combo. I need to bring it up here for some things we just already discussed, right? It's on attack, give one of your characters on reverse, search your deck for a family or magic trait character, reveal it after hand. So because the deck has that profile, you can afford to just play one of techs of random shit in your deck so that you have outs to stuff. Like, I don't think this card is that insane, but if you're playing that level 1 combo specifically, there's no downside to just throwing this in there to, like, in modern White Shorts, right? Like, I'm just going to use Ayakashi as an example because I just threw together their deck the other night, right? But putting the 2 trial deck combos, I had one of the early play double R that I pulled, so I threw that in there. I had 2 of the yellow Fuka Zero, so I threw that in there. I had 3 of the Chaser, I threw that in there. And then it got to be like, okay, what else am I actually doing here? I'm going to put in some of the support cards for the TD level 1 combo, but I'm running a cigarettes deck. So what cards in here can I play that actually help me? And then I realized that in Ayakashi, the TD event is a pay 1 to search your deck for one Suzu character with Suzu in its name and one character with Matsuri in its card name. Guess what every card in the deck is?
Oh yeah, because they're the
There's Suzus
lesbians.
and Matsuris. So because of that, you can play just random one of tech. You can play one of Neon Cat. You can play one of your memory kit counter. You can play one of your anti-change counter. You can play one of your Fumio card. You can play one of your free fresh card. And there's literally you can play one of your level 2 killer. You can decide to play one of your level 3 killer. Like, because I don't have as many double rares to actually fill out the deck, but I have the event, any tech card with Suzu or Matsuri in its name ends up becoming just a random card that I can get to out any situation. The reason I bring it up is, like, you might not play an Adachi in Modern White Schwartz. Your deck might just be consistency or cards that can kill your opponent, right? And this doesn't do that. There's not a lot of early plays right now that you can actually out with an Adachi. Like Irons, you can't out with an Adachi, for example. Mirren, you can't out with an Adachi. But, like, in the
No,
decks
I'll
that
when
it's
they
good,
stand by it at level 1.
well, yeah, but in the decks that this is actually good, you can just have it, and there's no downside because you can always search at level 1 when you need it. You're not relying on look at top 4 or do a cigarettes to get it. No, you just win one of your lanes, and then you can search 3 because that lane, or your level 1 combo, has all 3 of your on-reverse searches on it. I don't think this card is that good in a vacuum. I give it like a straight B for the effect it has, but like it is a feather in its cap that you can kind of just get this whenever you need it.
E for band.
So, yeah, E for bodyguard.
Yeah.
Bodyguard. Like you're talking
Despite
about.
not having the bodyguard keyword.
Yeah, the fact it's called bodyguard. I remember I had a deep dive on this because like, hold on, the original JP translation of the original keyword is great performance.
Yeah,
Who
it's
the-
great performance.
Who the hell started calling it bodyguard? Why does that?
That is a
stick?
great question. I'm an English player at first and foremost, so like I cannot bring myself to say bodyguard.
Yeah, like I asked.
And like in the context of the flavor of the game Weiss Wars, great performance fits
It's
so much better.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
dog. Like, where did they get this? And I asked people, and they had no idea. They could not direct me to where, other than like maybe Heart of the Cards started it, maybe. And if it's their problem or it's one of the search engine's problem, they're just like mistranslated it somehow and put that down. You will receive a strongly worded letter when I find you. In the meantime,
I will shit myself and mail you my pants.
it's a very specific threat. But I appreciate your help. in
Nah,
this
it's a
endeavor.
promise.
All right. What do we got?
All right, Demon Goat Butler. When your other family or magic character attacks, this card gets 1500 power till end of turn, and on attack, if the character facing is level 3 or higher, it gets plus 6k till end of turn. It's a 2/1, 1 soul with a soul trigger.
It's just a big ass level 3 killer, but this thing gets so fucking big.
That
Yeah,
is so
that's-
like in the lore of Umineko, these are like foot soldiers for like the witches.
If it wasn't for the fact that I just completely spieled on that last card, I would probably have more to say about this, but I'm going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
If you need to kill level 3s, then you know that you need to play this. If you need to kill things that sit big cross turn, then you know you need to play this. But, like, I don't know. It's good. It's definitely good.
This is a 55.
I think I like these a little.
Big boy.
It's a 55
Yeah.
level 3 killer. My god damn.
Look at the muscles. Just look at the muscles.
This thing
Yeah,
is
he's the
just-
goat.
It's like this card has one purpose, but fuck is it good at that one thing that it's doing?
That's the Demon Goat Butlers. They just
I mean, you know how like Seven
they,
Deadly Sins had that like Diane, it's like a 3K, but like during your turn it gains 10K in memory kick or whatever.
yeah.
The card doesn't get to sit at 13. Like I thought that card was pretty min maxed already. Like I'm realizing now, like, oh no, we could go further. We could go so much further.
This is to go further
I'm waiting.
beyond.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to print like a 1500 power level 2. That's like on turn gain 10K, and then if it's fighting a level 3, it gains like 6K. So it can sit 17.5.
Oh my god.
Because you know that's the direction the game's going. Either that, or it'll be like a 2-0 with 500 power, and it's like gain like 8K on turn, and then it's like 16 plus 6K when fighting a 3. So it can only sit at 14.5 when it fights the 3, but at least you get to play it for free.
My god. I can see that. I totally could see that.
Oh lord, it's gonna happen. We're slowly getting there more and more.
This is the way Weiss Schwartz does power creep. It's just in
Yeah.
using the power budget more
That way.
effectively. Less on like
I still can't
reconning
believe
effects.
that Matsuri's 2-0 has a soul trigger. It just on play blinks a character and then does something else. But the fact that it's a 2-0 and still has a soul trigger just is mind boggling to me. It's also your change target for your door finisher, so like you're gonna play 2 of it at least. Anyway.
Alright. That's good.
Yeah.
I can read this one. It's another AOT card. If your
Oh.
opponent has level 3 or higher character, this can early play. If you have 2 or more other family or magic characters, it gets 1500 power, and when it becomes reversed, you can ditch a card to return it to hand. During a turn that it was placed on stage from hand, when its damage is cancelled, you can mill 1 and then burn X, where X is the level of that character plus 1. So it's a early play Musashi burn, which also has this kind of like recursion save itself effect. So like the Aaron early play from AOT set 1 was also a early play Musashi, but it had a power condition instead of this other effect.
I know that.
I
This is
just
more
realized I should have
based
said
on
the name of the card. I should have said the name of
yeah.
the card. This is butt pinching lion. I should have, or Leon, whatever her name is.
Leon.
Leon.
Yeah, Leon.
Leon.
French.
Yeah, I should have said that. I apologize to the Umineko fans for not saying the name of the card. You can get out of the comments. You know.
Yeah, people around
they like
them
Leon.
just start acting up, and Leon's just like, "All right, no, pinch your butt." Williard
He's
is
gonna do
a
it, JP.
common.
Don't like that.
Williard is a very common victim of the butt pinching.
God.
That tracks. That's how you get your ship baited.
Yeah, it's shit bait.
How that works.
Yeah, it should be,
Yeah.
obviously. This card was a double rare in AOT set 1, and this card is better than that card, and it's a uncommon.
Yeah.
So obviously,
Wild.
White Schwartz has evolved since then.
Yeah.
I think an early play Musashi probably deserves to be a double rare. I don't know. What do you think, JB?
So, my first note is that this actually needs to be 500 smaller than it currently is. Musashi's a 1k effect.
Mhm.
The power condition's 1k. The 3 or higher character condition is 500. So it needs to be slightly
Yep.
smaller. This is the card that I was thinking of when I put together wait a minute, the fact that you have the change your choice combo. Because you could run double, like get 2 lanes of that out and then have a lane of this as long as your opponent early played. And like that seems like
Yeah.
it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, if your opponent starts acting up and starts cheating in characters, you pinch him on the butt.
And it's a Musashi that bounces itself back to your hand. So it reuses the
Yeah.
Musashi effect. Which is like, it's the primary complaint
Yeah.
that I usually have about Musashis is that like if they somehow stick on board, which at least playing against like the AI, that's not an uncommon thing. It's like, well, I mean, I guess it's here. I guess if my opponent has like an open lane, could it just crash a guy into it? Because the AI just likes to do that. It's like, all right, I can leave it there and swing. But like,
Yeah, but this only bounces back if it gets killed.
yeah. So like your opponent can play around it. The
Yeah.
fact that it's a reusable Musashi, but still a reusable Musashi. I agree that it probably is insane and uncommon. It's not the first like low rarity Musashi we have seen on this show because of the Paru set review. He
Mhm.
printed Musashi on the common, so this is not a
Ooh.
first.
Wait,
But
who presented Musashi as a common?
it's in Toho. It's in Paru's Toho set. The
Oh,
the,
Lord.
the Celestial. Yeah. So like, I don't think that Musashi is a thing that you couldn't print it uncommon. I think probably giving it an early condition and a power condition that lets you reuse it. I feel like this is probably a rare or a double rare. And with that, it is a
Yeah.
really good card. Like, damn,
Well, I even want to go higher on this.
that'd be reasonable.
Yeah.
Because of the deck that you'd be playing this in as like your Williard Leon deck that also is running the
Yeah.
Featherine package as like you have so many
No,
soldiers
no,
in that
no,
deck
no, no,
anyway.
no, hold on. I don't think you're playing the Featherine. Honestly, we S tier flavor for this because the more I'm thinking about it, the more insane this is. So like, the point of the butt pinch is it's to punish Williard for being an idiot, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you're punishing your opponent for early playing by playing this card, and you've
Yes.
got the bunnies,
Yes.
right? But you've got the bunnies to make her even stronger. So she's going to win her lane, and then if your opponent manages to clear 12k with the assist, you get to just bounce her back by ditching one, and then you get to play her again next turn and punish them again. Because how are they clearing this without playing an early play? Like,
They play the Demon Goat
They
Butler.
play the Demon Go Butler.
oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they can do that.
Or they have
Alright,
an
whatever.
assist and a proper level 3 killer as well. But like, there's definitely sets that can do it. It's not crazy,
Yeah,
but it
Now, what
gets
they
the
really
I
do is
think
they just
this-
hit a wind trigger.
But that too. This doesn't have XP for it.
Yeah, okay,
Oh
but
my
then-
god, and it bounces
then
back and then you recycle the Musashi anyway, because that's what you're gonna
yeah.
do.
I mean, like in the current meta, that they're just gonna win this card to your stock, and then they're gonna laugh at you, and then you're gonna,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
And then you're
right,
gonna
yeah.
use your stock to play for something else.
Yeah, you use your stock to play out
know.
another one.
Yeah, exactly. Just play two, easy.
Easy peasy.
So the other thing with this is that like because it can pop itself back, it can potentially play it over and over again. That means it's like it can be your third lane for whatever finisher you're trying to run. There's a finisher in red that you'd want to try to triple, but like the blue finisher, you could just double that and have it be fine and have this be your third lane potentially if you wanted to. And obviously this combos pretty well with the Williard because the Williard's going to shuffle back 2 burn 4. So if he cancels, then that means she's more likely to stick.
Mhm.
And if he doesn't cancel, then she can stick. And having the opponent's deck just be less compressed means it's going to be, oh man, this is going to hit hard. And it's more threes you can put in your deck to potentially cancel burn like 4.
Yeah.
New Age, Love Live Sunshine, baby.
I think
Oh,
I
God.
think this has to be at least an A. I want to give it the A plus, but I need to like test it myself to decide if it's actually like that
good, yeah.
Because there's just so many other things that you want to try to do in this set. But
That's fair.
the fact that you can like, I mean, I'm sorry, this is just AOT. Like I know you didn't
Yeah.
intend it for be AOT, but like you could literally just at level 2, if did your opponent play level 3? Okay, you get to slam the Aaron early play. And then you get to slam Armin, right? And then if did your opponent not play level 3? Okay, then you get to play your Mikasa Changer and your Armin, and then change into your Resisting Fate Mikasa at the end of attack. And then you're doing the same thing here, except instead of Resisting Fate Mikasa, it's your Hachio finisher, and then you get to Mocha them and swing for like 4. It's funny.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'm
what-
sorry, I know
like-
that's not what you intended, but like that's what this is. It's AOT with extra steps.
Like, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of things that you would probably say are AOT with extra steps in the grand scheme of the world. Looking at cards,
I guess.
that's
And this,
part
I
of
mean,
the
that's
lens.
that's a good sign that this is a well-designed set, right? This isn't just okay. I'm playing Scooby Doo. I have an event that early plays a thing, or I'm just gonna early
Yeah.
play because I have 4 more characters, right? Like, no, this is like there's a card that changes into a card, and then there's a fusion card for the other card. Like this is well thought out. This is using more Weiss mechanics than I was able to use in my custom set, and for that, definitely big thumbs up here.
Your opponent can't stop you from finishing them while you're at level 2. That's the card. That's the thing that is insane about this to me is that because you play you play it choice,
Yeah.
you get like double Feather Reed and a late of this, and it's like I am doing a level 3 turn at level 2.
Level 2.
You could
Yeah.
not do anything about it. And then if you go to level 3, double Williard and this card again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I
they
think
swing over
that
this,
might
you
be-
bounce back to hand, yeah.
Yeah, that might be a potential issue there because, like, we talked about this in Pikmin video, right? If your opponent knows you're playing against this deck, then they have a mini game in their minds where they know that if they play an early play at level 2, they're going to run into this card. Just the fact that you're playing Umineko means your opponent is going to be less likely to slam early plays
Yeah.
because you might be playing this card, right? Just like in when you're playing AOT, right? Your opponent is going to be. They're going to play differently because they know the Armin's coming, right? They're going to try to do stuff faster. They might try to go to level 2 quickly so they can start burning you or doing things before you get X-Roof to your front row. That's not necessarily a bad thing, necessarily. It's really not. But getting to do your effectively a strong finisher at level 2, again, because you can free fresh with that one card, there's no downside to doing it. It's very straightforward, very simple. Like, I don't know if it's Sympho Gear levels of busted, but like it might be. More testing required.
Yeah.
I know there was a deck in Pikmin that you could very easily get 2 copies of it down at level 2, and it was like Toru finisher from Dragon Maid on a pants.
Yeah.
So it was on attack burn 1, or you could pay 2
Or
dish 1 to
name a
burn your
number.
opponent for any number, right? And so like getting to do that level 2 was just so crazy. And you totally could do it with the memory package he was playing. Because the requirement was like you had to have 5 or more events in memory to do it, but he was playing the Roxy Pendant in the deck. So you could easily slam like 3 or 4 copies of that in there, and then all you needed was like 2 other cards to early play double. Like, that's the kind of stuff you have to be careful of when you're doing these change packages. I don't think this card's quite that good because it's just a mocha. It is a mocha for 3, which is kind of strong. But like, I don't know. You might need to change that. Because like mocha for 3 it basically means you're going to be sticking that 3 that you're hitting him with.
Nah, because you're going to trigger and they're going to cancel on 4.
I mean, yeah, I
You're triggering a
guess.
lot.
I mean, if you're,
You're
yeah.
also, you're also triggering a
I
lot.
mean, what's
Yeah.
So, like,
what's frustrating is it's like you're not wrong. I mean, like in the sim, in the ENTCG math sim of whatever, in law of large numbers, amount of games of
Yeah,
Weiss
you're
Schwartz.
yeah.
No. But the thing is that nobody's gonna ever play that many games of Weiss Schwartz with the set. So to your point, yes, you're only gonna
Yeah.
remember the time that your opponent
Yeah.
canceled on 4 back to back.
Well, no, I'm just bad
Like-
at Weiss, so like I'm always going to trigger and they're going to cancel on 4.
Well, that too, yeah. But like that's what's frustrating about this game. Like literally every turn you're going to be calculating. Okay, what are my odds of hitting my brainstorm? What are my odds of my opponent canceling? They have 5 and however many cards in their deck, right? And it never freaking matters because like your opponent's just going to cancel when they need to anyway. Because that's White Shorts, you know.
Yeah.
It's literally the anime card game. The fucking stats don't matter. Never tell me the odds, right?
and when that doesn't happen and you win 2 out of 3 games, you're probably gonna remember the 1 out of 3 that you lost unless you
Oh, yeah.
really cleared those wins. Because that's how memory works. Bias towards the
Volca.
negative.
I had a couple of really good games against Volk the other day, and so he started counting cancels for both of us just to see. And we played one game where we both canceled equally, and I basically pushed him to 3-6 and couldn't kill him, and he killed me back, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But it's going to be interesting having him keep track of cancels over the next few times, because I don't claim to be a good Weiss player by any means, but I do shuffle really well and try to keep myself compressed and play clean, so hopefully we'll see the odds pay out for me. But yeah, never tell me the odds.
Alright.
I've never topped a regional, and I probably never will. I've resigned myself to my fate.
But I thought you'd be resisting fate.
Yeah, no, like an AOT
As much as I can.
All right, who's this one?
We switched
I'll
again,
read
so
this one.
it's back to me.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
then go ahead.
Yeah.
So this is Bastard Child Yasu. A very interesting effect.
That's right.
Hey,
He's
one.
furniture. Furniture.
Right. The fucking
Furniture.
We'll talk about this in a minute because
Yeah.
there's a running theme with furniture. This is a 1500 character with one effect. So this is a 1500 effect. Pay 1. Put the standing character at the bottom of your deck. Search your deck for one character with Canon, Shannon, Leon, Claire, or Beatrice in its name, excluding cards with Eva or Angie in its name. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck.
So lore reason.
Yeah, okay.
So this specific character is in the visual novel that we don't have a sprite for. This scene is taken from the manga exclusive arc Confession of the Golden Witch, which was written by Ryukishio 7, who is the author of Umineko. In Confession of the Golden Witch, it essentially tells us the backstory of what happens before the Rokenjima incident. There is this very powerful family called the Ushiромiyas. At around a little bit before World War II, they start to essentially lose a lot of money. And it is not implied, it's basically confirmed that this family has a very big theme of incest. Because it wouldn't be a visual novel if it didn't have incest in it.
Facts about visual novels.
Yeah, they have incest. So much so to where they see polydactyly, so like having extra toes or extra fingers, is considered essentially a sign of the gods that this will be a successful heir to the bloodline. So the current head, by the time the story takes place, Kinzo, is essentially puppeted up to be the head of the Ushiromiya family by the elders, and he's just like, I hate this. The war is starting. I'm gonna go sign up for the war, and hopefully I just die. He was like forced into a marriage, forced to have kids, everything. While he's in the war, he meets Beatrice, the original Beatrice, because there's a lot of different Beatrices. Because Beatrice is a title once we get later down the generational line. But he
Okay.
meets Beatrice Castelloni, which we will get to later. She like peers out of a submarine. She is part of an rich Italian family who are trying to escape to Japan, like right after Hitler commits suicide, but before the war ends. And there's a whole bunch of gold on that submarine because it's a rich family, and they're gonna try and liquidate in Japan. So on like the military base that they're stopped at, the Japanese people are like saying we should take the gold, and the Italians are like we should leave the gold here or do something with it, whatever. So they all end up killing each other except for Beatrice and Kenzo. So Kenzo uses all this gold to buy the island that the military base is on. It builds essentially regrows the Ushiromiya family status in the economic world and builds two mansions on it. One for the family he was forced into a marriage into, and then one for the girl who he actually loves, Beatrice. So he has a child with Beatrice the First, and soon after childbirth, Beatrice the First dies. So Beatrice the Second is raised secretly on this island, unbeknownst to like anyone except for like a couple of the servants that live on the island. And later and later on, Beatrice the Second begins to resemble more and more Beatrice the First. And out of not being all there mentally due to being uber depressed, heavy drinking, being an incest baby, he rapes his daughter. 9 months later, Yasu pops out. And Yasu, being again an incest baby, not very mentally sound. And she's facing like all these like different troubles, and the way she copes with that is by believing in magic. And she takes on these multiple different personalities to try and like have different human experiences, because when she was born, she was a bastard child. So on the other side of the island, one of Kenzo's children couldn't conceive a child. So he was like, all right, I got a plan. I'm going to give my bastard baby to my daughter in law, and hopefully she raises
Jeez.
this child as the head of the next family. Now, Natsuhi, who's the daughter in law, is like insulted. So she's like, you know what, Kenzo, fuck you. I'm throwing this baby off a cliff. So she attempts to murder the baby.
Aw.
The baby somehow still lives. And one of the servants is like, all right, I'm going to get you to a hospital to like make sure you still live because you're like the last hope of Kenzo, because he thinks the baby is dead. Takes her to a doctor. Doctor gets her fixed up. In the process, however, of the accident, their genitals are mutilated. They no longer have a sex, essentially. They are basically non binary, is the best way I can describe it. They just do not have anything anymore. So essentially, Kanon, Shannon, Leon, and Claire and Beatrice are all essentially ways Yasu copes with being who they are. And excluding Ava and Angie, because Beatrice is a title, there are characters with the name Ava Beatrice and Angie Beatrice, but she is not those characters, nor did she create those characters.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not confusing at all. Like, I'm happy you explained it, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
That is a thing that happens with these.
Yeah,
Like
this is like the biggest spoiler in all of Umineko.
and it's on a common level 0. I love when Weiss sets do this, right? When it's like, oh, the most important like plot shit that you've ever seen, and it's like a common like a pack filler card that no one would ever play, or it's like or that people would play like confused on what the fuck is going on. It's like, damn it, Pushy.
Yeah.
With this, you don't even have that context though, because this is like a manga thing. So you'd have to be a serious fan of the series to actually understand what that was.
Well, it's
Or
heavily
watch this
implied
video.
this is what happens in the visual novel. The manga chapter just kind of spells it out for you.
Okay, gotcha. So like
So like you could make the connection in the visual novel, but the manga like is like, all right, this is like the events exactly how they happen.
right. Okay.
That's like a D or a B, just because it's a searcher that It's not like a drop search where it's like pay one, you pay one and ditch a card to search. It replaces itself, quote unquote. But by doing that, it removes itself from the field and decompresses you. And it's very limited on what it can grab.
So, speaking of like that sort of thing, right? Gadget, you've been playing the triangle. There is a card in that set that is discard one, put itself at the bottom of the deck to search for trait, and that's like I put 2,500 effect.
That's
It
on
is.
this set too.
Bochi has that card too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bochi has that one, the Nijika.
It's like a 500 power.
It's a
effect, right?
500 effect, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to evaluate if this is like on a budget technically at all, right?
I mean, it's probably on budget for an old card, but like Bushiroad just puts this effect at 500 power now. So like,
Well, they
yeah.
put the discard version. This is
They
pay
put the discard version. This,
And-
you don't have to discard a card, you just pay
but,
one.
But this is pay one
okay.
standing card. There is some math that at least in some contexts you can turn a discard into a pay one and put a 2 or more trait condition on it. But
Okay.
and I don't know if put this stand character at the bottom of your deck gets you that like if changing it to specifically needing to be stand puts you in that spot where it's budgeted correctly. But this does feel like a card that would have been printed in like Disgaea and never seen again.
Yeah.
It's just like a profile that exists. Like I don't know.
All right.
I can't speak to budget.
So-
It's probably fine.
So I was looking ahead while we were talking about, not we were talking while
Well,
Reed
I was talking.
lore dumping. That's the word. Lore dumping on us. There is a Shannon counter, which is also an AOT card. So thank you for printing that.
Yippee.
Obviously, the Lion cards, the Leon cards are good. We already discussed that. There is a couple Conan cards that are like whatever, and there's a couple Claire cards. Oh, Claire is the green haired girl,
Yeah,
right?
Claire is the shepherd's clothing.
So this
kind
card
of.
can search.
Search
This
it.
card can search your level 1 combo.
And it can search your Ricky.
This card searches
Yeah,
your
but
first.
more importantly, it can search your
Yeah,
level
it can search your level 1
which makes it
combo.
which makes the shot combo even more playable. That's really freaking cool. I like that. Which Beatrice does this search? I mean, you can search the
Anything
level
that
3.
doesn't say Angie Beatrice or
Yeah, so like
Ava
the magic
Beatrice.
spell Beatrice this can search, the level 1 Beatrice that can search. That's pretty cool. The Beatrice finisher this can. Wow, there's a lot of cards this can get actually. The thing is, you have a generic drop search in blue that I like more than this, but this does just filter itself. And again, like I said before, this you could just play one of this in your deck and just incidentally use it whenever you need to. For my preference, I would probably prefer to play the drop search over this card. But it's definitely not bad, and there's enough cards that it can actually search with relevant names that it would probably see play. I would probably give this a C+.
Fair enough.
That's my thoughts.
All right.
Yippee. Yeah.
All right, now we're getting into some of the funny cards.
Yeah!
Now,
7
this card-
shitheads of purgatory.
This card I
Seven
recognize.
Shades of Purgatory.
They're just silly little gals, and we got another crying anime girl.
And this is your card
Oh,
to read.
boy.
Weep.
Yeah, assists. All of your level 0 or lower characters in front of this card get X power, where X is equal to your level times 1,000, and you can rest it to decrease a character's level equal to your level.
Hi, Luna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luna.
I read this card and I was like, "What the hell is this? Why did you print this?" And then I read the rest of these and I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
He built a common level like Luna and Friends package
Yeah.
around these.
I built the 7 shitheads of purgatory.
Yeah, the 7. The why are they the 7 stakes of purgatory? Why did they use
Because
those
they are
stakes?
based off the 7 deadly sins and occult items.
Huh.
Okay.
So in Umineko, when someone dies, in most of the murders, they are left with a stake embedded in wherever it is they have been gouged
Oh.
at. This is referenced by the witch's epitaph.
Right, the event we'll talk about later. So that's why they're oh, okay.
Yeah.
This explains
On
a
the
lot.
first Twilight, gouge the leg and kill, right?
That-
No, first Twilight, offer the 6,
yeah.
and then
We have the whole mantra we're going to read when we get to that card. But so there are 7 cases where something is getting gouged to line up with
Yeah.
this, and these are like personifications of those stakes.
yes, which in reality are just paperweights.
Oh, that's so funny. But the fucking magic side of it. Oh, and that's why
Yeah,
they
but in the
furniture
magic
trait.
side,
Oh
yeah.
God. Okay. I was trying to figure out because the Yasu says like I'm furniture, and then these are furniture trait, and I was like trying to line up the connection in my
Yeah.
head. Like,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. Well, I mean it's Luna Assist, and there's a deck,
Yeah.
kind of a deck strat
Yeah.
you play this in. You probably have some understanding of what combos you're playing with this. I have no idea. It's like
The most
Play it.
with this is just that there's an Angie card later that cares about level zeros. And like 9 years after the Rokujima incident, she starts using the 7 stakes of purgatory as her 7 imaginary girlfriends.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh, this is fascinating. What a world.
Umineko was wild.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
Have you not seen Cherem anime?
I didn't hear the word that you said. I didn't hear the sentence you said.
Well, it started out as like a joke, right? It was like a girl who would come home from school and then she would like flirt with the things in her apartment, like her chair and her refrigerator and her TV and stuff, right? Except that they were all alive. But then like it cuts to, like the audience and some guys just like more like Cherem anime, am I right? And so that's what it was. It was just Cherem anime. So sorry, it's been done, and
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
better. Like I'm sorry.
There's
It's
a
it's
dating
like the
sim
most
coming out that's about it,
yeah,
which is
like
fucking wild. Like, what?
yeah.
I get where they're coming from, but like,
Yeah.
what?
You haven't seen these shorts. They're fucking hilarious. Like yeah, no, you're gonna have a hard time competing with that, unfortunately. I think we're gonna read these, and I'm gonna have to go back and rewrite this.
Yeah.
But like the payoff for this is like I don't know.
It's funny.
You know what you do get to play this in? You do get to play the this. We've already established this deck's playing a chaser.
Get some
That card
pump your
gets up to
Satoto.
yeah, that card gets up to 4,500 now. Wait, no.
Only
Because
level
they
5,500
only gain
if
X
you have-
card per level.
Mhm.
So I guess no, that's not
Yeah.
that's good. No.
Yep.
I mean, there's only one deck that plays this, and the thing is, in any other build of this deck, that this is going to be competing with your 410 for slots because they're both level zeros with assist, right?
Yeah.
So you probably just rather play the 410 instead of playing this, but that's just me.
Yeah, but she's a snack queen.
This scales better theoretically because they'll get more power. Like it's
it only works with level 0 characters.
So it's like one lane,
But
or
it
two
can
lanes
turn
that are
things
doing
into
it,
level
but
zeros, is
yeah,
the idea.
It's like 1 or 2
I
lanes that are doing
guess,
it,
yeah.
but that
You
is
can choose. You can choose one character, yeah.
You can give 3k when you're going into your finisher turn. If a deck has like that need to get over something to do it, that's a thing you could do. If you're not doing that, it's like a one of you could put in that deck that needs it, or it is you build the meme deck, whatever that looks like,
Yeah.
with all these chair people.
Yeah, I
Work
guess.
it like that.
I don't know. I don't think you play this, but that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, you probably don't
Alright.
play any of these cards, but
You could.
Well, this one's at least a 4K with
Yeah.
pay to encore. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a card where if you bought 2 booster boxes, you probably have a playset of this already. Like
Yeah.
that's a straight C for me.
and she'd call you a cutie boy and make you coom.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not big on just like 4Ks, and we have other cards in this set that are really good for plus shit. So like,
Fine, it's gonna be the copyright symbol.
I like Asmodai. Asmodai is funny.
Cutie boy.
I think in the meta list you don't play this. I think you just play the chaser. But
Yeah, you just play a chaser. But
I like that
he's
this card
funny.
is in a relevant color because, like, in the parallel universe where Bushiroad actually prints this, like, this is a card that you're happy as a common.
Yeah.
As a new player.
Yep.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
can't
Alright.
pull the double rare, you play the commons. It works out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We can just
Oh.
kind of like lightning round
I mean, some of these cards
yeah.
are just nothing cards, right? I mean, this one, okay, it's
This is
it's
also
a
Hololive
minus
card.
1 level on stage.
I mean, technically they
And-
are nothing characters because they don't actually exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gains
Oh, wait a
4K
minute.
during your turn, but it swings in at 8K, 9K with climax.
Yeah.
Obviously,
wait.
this can get, like, This can sit at 9K if it's in front of the Beelzebub, but like
Yeah.
So you stick this as a coordinate combo card.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
put, you
yeah,
stack the
they-
coordinates on it. It's just like, all right, cool. I got a 10k. Let's go.
cool. That means I get to give it an F plus instead of an F.
I mean, yeah, Belphegor is the
Uh,
least interesting of the 7 shitheads, so
God, I don't.
what?
It's got to be better than
Hold on.
that for me.
No, this card isn't like. At least the next card sets defensive cross turn. This card doesn't do anything.
It gets to a power point that you're gonna have some issue getting to on your Corone combo.
All right, sure. Why would I not just play?
Okay, yeah, but
the,
your Corona combo also pumps power.
Yeah, so this gets to like 11k. This kills.
Yeah,
this
but,
kills
why
like
would
every
I just-
level 2 in the world. You get another turn of your level 1.
It does not kill Tominori from Fujimi.
True. There are
That's
level
11-5.
There are level 2s that survive.
Destroyed.
You're right.
Point of correction. The Leon combo is 8k with the climax. Like, why wouldn't I just play that combo?
Because this goes to 11.
Yeah, but you don't need it to go to 11.
You play the Corona. You play Corona combo. This goes to 11.
You just convinced me. You just convinced me to play the Beelzebub assist. It can give one of your Lions minus level to gain the power boost. What are we doing trying to justify this card?
Because she's a cutie girl.
Because I can.
You don't need to do that. It doesn't even have a soul trigger. At least the Lion combo has a soul trigger.
You're not playing it in that deck. You're playing it with the Corona combo.
You're playing it with
Maybe I
Anji
play
and her
both.
7 invisible girlfriends.
Yes, that too.
No, like I literally said before you could play double combo, right? You could play the Willard at level 3 with your level 1.
I know what you said. We're
you
not
play
talking
both.
about
You
those
just play
cards.
both.
We're talking about
I
a different
am.
deck list. You're not playing it.
Yeah.
You're not playing it in that one. You're playing it in this other thing you can do. And for
Yeah,
that means it
no.
has a utility. Anyway,
What Anja card are you playing on board that actually makes this other thing stronger?
The Brainstormer.
There's a brainstorm?
Yeah, it's a... Your level 0s in front get plus 1k.
Oh right, we have to talk about that card later. Anyway, I have a note. Oh wait, no,
What the hell is-
fuck you. I don't have a note anymore. You actually explained it in this part. Never mind. Anyway,
Yeah,
moving
it's
on.
Anji and her
Where
7
is the
invisible
An-
girlfriends.
It makes so
What
much
card
more
is the
sense.
Anja? I don't see that in here.
It's in blue.
It's in blue.
Oh, here it is.
It's
Okay,
73.
Yeah, okay.
Slad 73.
Okay, I see. Huh.
We have
It's pretty sick.
we have a combo to talk about, boys. Let's keep rolling.
All right, well,
We're not
hold
done
on.
with those yet.
So this actually matters though. So the Mammon is a what 7k
right.
cross turn if you have
Remember.
another
8k
Angie,
with
right?
8k with the Anji back row.
Oh,
Right,
you
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Okay, you guys had moved on to the Mama. I was still talking about the Belphegor.
Nah,
This
we're talking about the main girlfriend because she
Yeah.
is
doesn't have the power, quote unquote, to be able to summon, quote unquote, all 7 of the shitheads.
Gotcha.
So the one she sticks with is Mamon. So she gets the Anji treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this one. It's like a less cool version of Kishibe but as a common.
Yeah.
I actually like this.
You
Yeah.
would. Okay, I take it back what I said about the other one. You would just play. You just run the Angie Brainstorm and play that instead of the Belphegor. You're right.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
tracks.
Uh-huh.
All right, fair enough. Moving on.
All right, so this so this JP, you gotta take note. You gotta take better notes, man. You know what this set has? It has a level 1 2500 counter. That means that this card can defend at 10-5. That's pretty freaking good.
It has Memkick counter, and it has a level 1 that can take advantage of it. You're right. I went through these cards.
No,
I'm not even reading my
no.
notes. Hold on.
I'm telling there is a 2500 counter in blue. That's a 1/0, which means that this Mammon is defendable at level 1 as an 8k. It can get up to 10-5. That's bigger than Kishibe, bro. That's bigger than Kishibe.
Okay.
I don't care if it has mem kick. Cool. Every modern set gets mem kick these days, but there's some spice here. There's real defend. Like this might be something you could play if you whiff your
Kishibe
your
doesn't
combo at
require
level
you to
1.
ditch a card to get to the power line. That's the difference. Like you have to be willing to ditch the
Okay.
cards.
But you're actually it's actually defendable. I mean, obviously you could just get bombed, of course, but we don't talk about that. It's
Oh,
fine.
that's why you're trying to. All right, I see. We've traded positions on who's convincing who. Moving on.
Yeah.
Your rating is acknowledged.
On with it.
Memkick. Everset needs these nowadays.
Mhm.
It's fine. It exists. Illusions to illusions is a good flavor text for a Memkick to have. To be fair, so that works. it cannot return to the earth because you're just going to space. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, nah, he's disproving the magical side of things.
Magic isn't real. All right.
That is the thing.
Magic isn't real. You're magic now. I've decided. I'm putting you in your fucking memory.
Ironically, he is part of the magic faction Because there are like members of the Magic faction whose sole purpose in the story is to disprove magic.
Speaking of magic isn't real, you know Dan's coming to Weiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that? I don't know. I always
Nah.
remember Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures. Magic must defeat magic.
Oh.
No, nobody Jackie Chan Adventures.
I got it. It's just.
All right.
Alright. So yeah,
Crying anime girl, let's go.
Speaking of 15Ks. Speaking of 15Ks, she gets really small on your opponent's turn
Right.
and level, but then she just swings super big. This is actually a card I would play with a card I competition.
Yeah, but how are you early playing it?
I'm not early playing it. I'm doing it
obviously.
on my level 2 turn when I need another rotation.
I
To
guess.
set up, yeah. So I just have a 17K lane. And what happens to the other lanes, it's not that big a deal because they're just set up. Fine. Yeah, this is playable. I don't know. And that. There's a deck you
I
consider
think
playing this with.
I don't you play this over the big goat. He's the goat though. This is just a girl with green hair.
Yeah, she's cute and she's crying.
One of them's big against level 3s. This is just
This is always big on attack.
This is just always
Yeah,
big.
but then it's the 0. So like
Yeah, it's fine. You don't play it on a lane
I
with a
don't know.
bomb. You don't play it into
know what
a bomb.
You know what other girl is cute and has green hair? It's Claire. Why would I
Mion
ever play this over
Sonozaki
really quick?
from Higurashi.
Yeah. And also someone from AOT that I'm not thinking of. I don't know. No one has green hair in AOT.
Yeah, what?
I mean, these are good pack filler cards, I'm not gonna lie.
They're very funny.
Cool.
They're funny.
Alright, finally a real
real card.
Yeah, this is not a pack filler card. This is oh dear god. Alright, so oh wait, yeah, okay. So I wanna just read this because this goes alright. This is diplomatic immunity, Sakatara. So this is our friend, the little lion, who has become a Shota, as is tradition. All of your other first furniture Maria get 1,000 power and the following 2 abilities. Hexproof, and during this card's battle, you cannot receive damage by auto effects of your opponent's characters. This is also a level 3 2K assist. This card is insane, but it needs to be evaluated in context of the combo it's supporting. Gadget, would you like to read the combo?
Why, certainly. I would love to. Alright, so this is the big payoff for playing this chaser. If you have the birthday present Sakatoru in your clock, it gets -1 level in hand. Oh, I should say, this is first furniture Maria. Well, that's sad. She's a furniture too? God, that's unfortunate.
No, she makes furniture.
Oh, the first furniture she created.
Yeah, Sakatoru was her first creation.
Okay,
got it.
That's less sad.
So, during the turn that she was placed on stage from hand at the start of your encore step, you can heal 1. And then it says on attack, if you have her birthday, which is a pants trigger in your climax area, you have 3 or more other family or magic characters, so effectively 4 or more characters total. It's 2 abilities to land on your opponent's turn, plus 4,500 power, cross turn, and then when it's front attacked, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 3, put them back in any order, put the rest into your waiting room. My lord.
So,
this is...
Let's start just talking about the assist, because I do have evidence that this card is correctly budgeted. This is on spec as a profile. However, it is degenerate as hell because of what it's supporting to me. So this is absolutely insane. Because then you get to what this combo is. And this is a card that you actually this is one of the ones that we talked about on the Discord because you brought it up and I was like, what in God's green earth is happening here?
She's just so cute.
It is adorable, I will give you that.
Yeah.
So Spyro referred to this effect as Gambler's Neg Soul.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's the
they
dumbest
just
take.
Printed this effect on an event in Uma Musume.
Yeah,
today.
Zuma, of course it is.
So
the card was revealed today.
Yeah, this is real. I just think that the calling it Gambler's Neg Soul is just the dumbest fucking take on this concept that I have seen. Okay, it puts it back on top in order. It doesn't just but it's up to 3, right? This is check the top 3. If none of them are climaxes, send all 3 of them away. It is triple damage scry in a way that if you see multiple climaxes, you leave multiple climaxes on top of your deck. Plus, your opponent can't deal auto damage. So this is just like the most potent Negasol you've ever seen, and it still early plays, and it still heals. This card is fucking insane and loopable as hell because it's on a gate. It like fuck me, dog.
I mean, if you're offering,
damn.
like,
This card is like, this card is fucking.
I have to say, it is really gratifying hearing JB mulled over this, considering considering the Euro hot combo you made a couple years ago.
This is a 15-5. You got 3 lanes of it, and it is all of. Because here's the thing, the era has like crazy.
That was 9. It was 9 stock to triple.
It doesn't have damage scry.
Yeah, it doesn't.
This
that had a great performance though.
Yeah, but you still could deal normal damage to your opponent through it. This has damage scry
right?
3.
You play a 2-soul and you side attack this. They can't scry.
Yeah, that is a thing you do. Who the fuck is playing a 2-soul climax that can do that?
Me. I am.
Alright, understandable. I'm
playing Beaufort.
There are people who can. That means that they are playing off meta to play into this, which becomes the meta of the format it's in. Because if there is anything that I know about meta-focused players, is that they will find the most degenerate bullshit. This is peak degenerate bullshit. This is... oh god. And I would absolutely play this, because this is just... I played Sora.
Let me break this down a little bit. I gotta evaluate this for what it is. And I believe you, JB, don't worry, I believe you. If you have the clock condition, you get to early play this. So regardless of anything, it is a early play healer that sits at 13k cross turn when you combo.
13.5, yeah.
And again, advanced combo, which means you can loop it. So for 6 stock, you can triple this at level 2, heal 3, and 13.5 is already a pretty good stat line for survivability, on top of having this other damage scry skill. So you've already got a pretty good combo, and I think honestly that the damage scry 3 is like fine for climax combo. Maybe not a combo you'd want to early play, but I think the combo itself is fine. So now we have to look at this other guy and to say, okay, so now we're giving all these cool things hexproof, and they can't receive auto damage. That's, I think, what's pushing this over the edge a little bit for me. Now, here's the thing. The fact that you can only damage scry when you front into this is actually a legitimate downside. There's a card in Fate called Monstrous Glance Rider. It's a level 3. On play, you get to heal. And then it has this climax combo, pay 2, ditch 1 on attack if you have the bar in your climax area. Gains 2 abilities. Character facing this card gets minus 3k. Character facing this card cannot front attack. So during the turn that you play this, you slam the bar, you pay 2, ditch 1, you get to kill your opponent's character. This Rider is 10k vanilla, but you're going to have the Sakura back row, which gives her like 500 power. You're going to kill your opponent's lane, so that you're winning, you're killing their character for the minus 3k, right? Then on the swing back, your opponent's not going to be able to front into this. They have to side. So regardless of how strong the character they play, they're not going to be able to out the Rider to deal it any damage. And once you have the Rider out, your opponent can just keep slamming that bar over and over and over again and keep getting this effect off, so that effectively you're not dealing them any more damage anymore, unless you happen to get lucky, right? So I just want to put it in context that that card has existed for years. Like, this is Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel Volume 1. So this has been around for like 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 years. I don't remember when Volume 1 came out. And I have played against this card in waifu tournaments, and it is absolutely fucking cracked. I don't remember if there's a way to early play it. There might be an event that lets you early play it. I don't remember.
I didn't think of it.
So having said all that, I don't actually think that the level 3 combo is that busted. Particularly at level 3, it's definitely not busted, because it's basically doing the same thing. You're forcing your opponent to side, because if they front, you're going to cancel. And you are not giving their character minus power, but you're giving yourself plus power to live. So you're going to be winning board. I don't think this card is actually that egregious, except for the fact that you can early play it. So that's kind of where I'm like not sure.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I think
also, it's
this card also probably doesn't deserve to be a single rare. This probably deserves to be a double rare.
Chase rare.
Yeah.
This would be
Based on what it's
Uh,
doing. I think the rider is also a double rare. At least it was in Fate. So
It was
I will say also the rider was on attack, pay 2 ditch 1. This is
free.
free when it attacks, but you have to have 3 or more characters. So like maybe you make this a pay 1 to justify it, or like a ditch
a traded character
traded
or
character. But like that's like semantics. But like this assist thing is kind of what I think is pushing it over the edge for me. This might be
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's the card that
I think
pushes
this
this
is
into insanity. It also gives it hexproof.
yes. Which was like the one way to out the rider, which is to blink it.
blink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this combo like it's either an A or it's an S. Like I haven't tested this, so it could be higher. It's either a straight A and it just needs a little bit of rework, or it's an S because it can early play. This assist is just a straight S for me.
Yeah, it enables the bullshit.
Hexproof and plus 1K. So that's 13-5, 14-5, 16-5 defensive in 2 lanes.
Yeah. The only problem is that because this is a card that exists to create basically stall your opponent out. The flip side of that is that it's offensive 9k with no other things except for it's a 3-soul swing. So there is that trade-off of this is not dealing damage, but your opponent isn't doing damage unless they're playing specific builds and getting it, or just getting lucky on
JB,
soul triggers.
You know what deck also has a pants combo that can early play itself and sit big cross turn? Rushia.
Triangle.
And Rushia also didn't do shit except sit there and hand encore over and over again until they were ready to win.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what this is doing. Instead of hand encoring, like this is kind of why I think the combo needs to be a ditch 1 or pay 1. Because once you have it set up, now you can spend the rest of your resources to keep this on board over and over again until you need to kill your opponent. But like this is just getting to freely sit there and do nothing. Your opponent can't auto you, they can't blink you, they can't, unless they're playing free run, they can't hard remove any of this. Every turn you get to damage scry, or you make them slide in, so they're only going to be dealing you 1 damage max, unless they're playing something like Arifreta or Bofuri that's actually playing a 2-soul combo.
Or if they're playing enough soul triggers so they can hit that 4 with the climax down.
Like Rushia's first turn has 1 lane of 13k and 1 lane of 15-5. This can potentially have 2 lanes of 16-5 and 1 lane of 14k, I think. Something like that. Or let's like probably like 16-5 and then like 13-5 or whatever. No, 14-5. Yeah, 16-5, 14-5. Which is so like again, this card is stronger than Rushia.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Look at how cute she is.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
Look at that
with you.
climax art.
The way that it's budgeted too, because that combo is a 1k combo as it's written, right? Because of the power budgeting, like you could have it pay 1 and it goes back to being a 500 combo, and it still has that through more condition, and it still has every other piece of line of text about it. Or you could take off the condition, but I think you want the condition for flavor reasons, because it's like a group of people celebrating their birthday.
Yeah.
So and that puts it at like 17k and in 2 lanes and 15k and a third.
Jesus.
And still hexproof and still auto, but at least now you have to pay resources, which is the one thing about that Iraha combo, right? That also was like, at least there is a drain on it. Like
you needed 9 stock to triple it, yeah.
You needed so much stock to triple it, and then to loop it, you have to be making stock, but you're not making stock anymore unless you have back row that can do that for you.
I think this is where I need to spiel a little bit. Everybody hates Shauna because that deck has a card that says you can't receive auto damage by 1 or less, right?
Yep.
No, it's just you can't receive auto.
I think what's cool about White Shorts is that you don't see them print a lot of floodgate cards, which is effectively what this is. If you have a Maria, all Marias say your opponent can't deal you auto damage and your opponent can't select this card. And for me, like, I think it's totally viable to print cards like that in your set, but consider, rather than printing a card that says my opponent can't, print a card that says I can. There's nothing wrong with these kind of effects in Weiss that are like, yeah, when I'm a front attack, I get to do thing, right? I think it's where you put it over the edges, where you start to see cards like this, where it's like, yeah, my opponent can't touch me with effects. My opponent can't auto burn me. My opponent can't reverse me. Because the reason Overlord's one of the most toxic decks in the format. And I think you're right. I think English players just don't understand the value of that because they haven't had to deal with Memory Snow. They haven't had to deal with Shauna, right? They haven't had to deal with a lot of
Gun
this.
Gale.
Yeah, like all these floodgate
Yeah.
effects of like no auto burns or no this, no that, right? Like there just hasn't been a lot of that in the English metagame. Nonetheless, it's a thing that does exist in certain like
In
I don't know.
English
People are
sets
gonna get a
too.
big.
They just didn't get the
People are
tournaments
gonna
for
get a
this.
Yeah.
yeah. People are gonna get a big wake up call when Dengeki comes out because that Shauna is gonna get pushed so high up on the
Mhm.
tier list.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's any problem with the finisher. Again, maybe you rework the effect to make it pay a cost, so you can't just endlessly
Yeah.
loop
Like pay
this.
one, ditch one on attack.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say either pay one or ditch one.
Alright, then.
You didn't have to do both, but like
It would be pay one, keep the conditions, it goes to 95, or make it ditch one, it has no conditions, it goes to 95, because that's how these combos. That's how those combos budgeted.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't just arbitrarily give things more costs. You have to be able to. You have to be able to
Yeah.
put some math to it. That is
Yeah.
mathable. I guess
You
you
could
still
also
have
make it a ditch character, keep the 9K base, but have it gain and well, no, it doesn't need to gain extra power. Really, it's already
Yeah.
gained 45. Never mind.
Yeah.
Forget
It
that.
could
Nah,
just
make
say
it bigger. It'd be funny.
it could just say ditch trait. I realize it would if it was. It could also say ditch card and still need another character on stage to celebrate her.
Mhm.
There's like anything in that spectrum, but a cost would be good, and choose
You know what?
either to drop the hexproof or the anti-damage. Probably the
No,
anti-damage.
no. I actually have the perfect idea, right? You said this guy is like the Sakatora is like kind of like a cowardly lion. He sits big and roars, so he can get courageous moments, right?
Yeah.
You
Also,
have
another
this
thing,
deep.
diplomatic immunity is a lore thing too. During a fight she has with Furudo Erika, Sakatora is kind of essentially like the saying, "La la la, I can't hear you," for like the lack of a
Okay.
better like terminology. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you're
so
not
it's a flare of success.
your facts and logic cannot hurt me because I just simply refuse to believe in your facts and logic, and I know magic exists because
So
I
here's
believe
the
in
thing.
magic.
What I'm saying is, your Maria is already very defensively slanted by
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that she's big cross turn and she gets this check 3 thing on
Mhm.
front attack. I would like to see this Sakatoru be offensively slanted. So instead of it being can't be chosen and can't receive damage, it should be something like on attack, have the Maria gain 1,000 and then 2 abilities, auto, choose your trigger or like pay 1 twin drive, and then can't be reversed by auto effects.
All right.
Something like that. Like like I know Ainz also has that thing where he can't be reversed by auto effects, or he just doesn't become reversed.
Just straight up can't kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
But
thing in
like
front
the
of it
thing
can't be
is,
killed
if you
either.
had something like that, right? Or maybe like when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you shoot it to your opponent's stock or shoot it to their bottom deck, right?
Yeah.
The point is, you want something that would give her an offensive slant and like either have her hard remove her opponent, or like if your opponent's trying to set an Adachi up for you, you can just run over the Adachi and ignore it, right? Like ignoring choosing effects is, I think, super ubiquitous, but I think ignoring Adachi effects is less egregious and something that you could like. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is
Yeah.
it fits for more offensive slant for your Sakatori rather than just being more la la la. You can't touch me. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
something
But-
more than just that.
At least the anti-Adachi is in flavor of diplomatic immunity, because you still want it to be some kind of protection, have some kind of protection effect
Yeah.
Yes.
because of that. But I mean, in my head, it's just that you make the Sakatara of 6,500, give it 500 power to all your first furniture and hexproof. Like you just drop 500 power and the extra ability off entirely, because that's the egregious part, and it's the
Yeah.
minimum change.
And just say like your first Marias can't be removed by auto effects or reversed by auto effects.
No, in my head, you're not even doing that. You're dropping.
Ah.
You're saying you're giving this less of a benefit because it doesn't need as much of a benefit. You're not.
Oh, so you just
Yeah.
make the Sakatora weaker. Okay.
Make the Sakatora weaker. It still gets
Yeah.
hexproof. Still gets 500. It has 500 base more base power, which obviously you don't care about because it's a 2-1
Yeah.
assist. But that is how you like. That is how you bring this in line and don't introduce like different options. If you want to do, there is the other option of doing that, where it's like you make this card able to do offense and defense better, but it just sounds like that may not, like, I don't know, the idea.
I
of
just think
having
the
it,
tricky
like,
thing with
not track as much with because it's just straight up diplomatic immunity. That's the flavor behind
Yeah.
it. So like,
Yeah, I just think the tricky thing with hexproof is like this card is sitting at, as like we said, 16-5 in 2 lanes and 14-5 in another lane. The only way you're dealing with this card is with a blink effect or a counter, basically. Hexproof is removing all of that agency the opponent has to deal with this. So
Yeah.
you like
you have to still
if
back it up.
you if you're making it immune to auto effects or
Eh,
like if you make it so that it can't be reversed in battle or it kicks the character it's facing to a different location like clock, stock, or bottom deck. Those are things that shut off certain ways the opponent has to out this, but not always. You can still blink this, have it come back as a 9/5 and swing over it. You can still have it be any change targeted. You can have it be tap countered. You can have it be any changed as an out to that. Your opponent can play events that bounce it back to hand, right? Like with pure hexproof, there's like too many things that this prevents, but at least if you make it more specific, it doesn't feel like a completely unstoppable disaster of a card that once your opponent hits level 2, they're basically the game is
Dead,
over.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Honestly, I feel like just allowing auto damage kind of gets you there far enough. Because the other thing about these cards, right, is that like any any of these like Nexal defensive type combos have to be busted out the ass, or no one is gonna play them. So there is a certain level of insanity you have to get to, and maybe the Scry 3 is enough. But I don't think that that's the combo that you play in Out Buddha. Out Buddha has something like almost like this, right? Where it's like it can go 3 deep on attack or whatever.
What Abuda card are you talking about?
It's like the JP release set, you know, the one that has an
okay.
But there's a combo in that is also like super defensively slanted. It also digs up and that was the like the math reference that someone brought up that was like, oh no, Weeb can't actually do it. All right, fair enough. Maybe it was like 3 instances of check top card, and this was like better than that because it got to like basically like Mocha 3 yourself on when frontal attack.
Yeah.
We have said much about this card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final
Let's
2
talk about
cards do not have nearly as
Cute
much.
girls. Yeah.
Or at least less. Maybe. I went off hard on those. This is Weaves read.
Yeah. 7 shitheads of Purgatory Satan. 2/1 Soul Trigger -2 level on stage. During your turn, if you have full field, plus 6k, so it is a 10/5. Nope, 12/5.
Oh.
I can count. When this card is placed on stage, you have 2 or more characters, draw 1, ditch 2. And if you have 4 or more characters on play, stock charge 1 from grave.
This card is sick.
Yeah, it is.
This card is so sick. You might even play this in a regular deck just to get you to draw 2, ditch 2.
On a 12/5, yeah. It's like it is a side grade of the classic version of this, which is just it's this, but it's a 10/5. Like this just gets more power because you can bomb it like much more easily.
Yeah. And it's also offensively slanted for its power.
Yeah, because it is during their turn. So it does go back down to like 6/5. It is a card that you play, you get a turn of advantage out of it, and that's fine. Another good card that would combo with a Coronet style effect.
Yep. Crazy.
Wow. This is, I don't know if it's a B, but I definitely, it's at least a C for me. Like these, some of these cards are like
C plus B minus territory.
This is like, what am I trying to say here? You know how like some of those Holy Knight cards actually show up in Seven Deadly Sins lists, where like they're not intended to be playing with the rest of the set, but like
Yeah.
they end up
This is
finding
one of
space
them.
because they do. Yeah, this is one of those cards. Just like does crazy shit. Like no, like in your when you're playing like a real Seven Deadly Sins list, right? You're not playing that blue Hendrickson Ricky because it's a good card. You're playing it because it's blue, and it lets you play your finisher and your Fumio, which are Holy Knight trade or whatever. Just incidentally, like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like you might just in a mono red or mono blue deck in this set, this might be a card that you're squeezing yellow in for, in case you need that 2-card dig for your climax. There's a lot of other things in yellow that you could play too, but like this feels like a payoff card that you managed. This and like the 4, 10, and 45 assist seem to be the go-to kind of card. It may be maybe the Adachi.
Yeah,
Those like the go-to cards.
Like because you have a Musashi in yellow, so that's another thing you'd want yellow for.
Yeah, that too.
There's a lot of good reasons to have yellow be at least splashable, yeah.
Yeah, just random 1 or 2 of text that can just kind of put you over the edge.
It's kind of a must-have for Maria, because otherwise you don't have finisher power either. But alright.
Alrighty. The funny.
Yeah. Oh man. This card gets -3 levels while in the stage. She is a
Oh,
13-5. So, here's the best part. Alright. So, obviously it needs a level 3 effect. If you hypothetically got rid of it and just turned the level 3 effect into power, right? If you just wanted this to be the biggest ass card in the world, that would put you at like 16 or 17k.
Wait, so you're saying that if it was just the minus level 3 effect, it'd be 16, 17k?
Because level 3 effect is obviously giving you a lot of power. Not losing those 3 levels gives you back 2500 power. The base is
Okay.
11.5 for a level 3, including a level 3 effect. So that would put you at 15, and then not having a level 3 effect, quote unquote, would put you at like 17.5. Because there's an AOT card whose level 3 effect is during your opponent's turn, this gets 5,000 power. So a level 3 effect is roughly about 2,500 power based on that math. You heard it here. Well, that is paying 1k for it, so it's like a 2.5x multiplier kind of thing. It's weird. So it would be like a 16 or 16.5 or something like that, right? Like big. It would not be just 15, 13.5. And because of that, because like imagine that. Imagine a world where your opponent has a 16.5 that you just can walk up and like power bomb it.
Or side attack it.
Or just walk through it. Yeah, like it's just
Yeah.
funny as shit.
This can just be side attacked, actually. Yeah.
This card is so terrible. It's so funny. It's so terrible. And it's so funny. Oh god. So yeah,
I
like
didn't even think of that.
what you'd honestly do is you just find a level 3 effect for it to do. What'd be really funny actually is if this had an ambulance effect.
Like you mark or something and keep it under it.
No, the call an ambulance effect. It's the Coronet Volume 2 that is when this is reversed, pay 1, pitch 1, reverse your opponent's character and stand this or rest this.
And yeah.
So yeah,
call an ambulance, but not for me.
And because it's getting -3 level on stage, it's just statically sitting at like 14k or some shit like that. Like that's the kind of thing I would want to see this too if I wanted it to be a real card. And it'd still be a comment, honestly, because it's just like it's a big card that your opponent just plays a bomb.
Just a silly
and it's
little
fine.
girl.
Yeah, like it
Funny
does.
little Soon Boon.
All right. Well, that's a note to
And we go back to we go back to slide 21
for the Mamon, yeah.
Yeah.
Mamon?
Yeah. All right, there we go. I realized when we were talking about that level 3 that you could get that it doesn't matter how big this card is because your opponent can just side attack it without penalty.
Yep. That's the joy of playing a Luna deck. Your opponent just side attacks all your shit, but you kill the things they put in front of you on the next turn. So like, you're always field closing. But
I feel bad for going off on you for the Belphegor because they're just equally bad.
Yeah.
Like you're right. At least the Belphegor gets the ability to like kill things, but this is just like, cool. Yeah, I made 5 defensively. Oh wait, where are you going? You're just walking right. Oh, okay.
Hey, get back here! But then your opponent thinks that, and then you just go to attack phase and you exchange this for your bomb, and it's like, oh well, shit. Hang on. What do you mean? No, I was just gonna walk past her. What do you mean I have to walk into your stock bomb now? Well, this isn't right. All right. Well, that's yellow.
That's yellow. That was the smallest. That was the smallest card pool.
Holy shit!
Oh, no.
So like when I was thinking about scheduling and shit for this, I was going off a much more pessimistic viewing of these cards because of like some editing stuff, like the impressions of some editing stuff, and then just like not understanding how some cards were interacting. Oh god. Things have taken a turn. So yeah, we'll catch you next time for Red. We will have plenty of things to talk about there. And for
we got some funnies.
Yeah, we'll catch you then. Until next time.
Wait a minute. Remember to subscribe. Comment below. Comment your
yeah. How would you fix the cards in this set that need fixing?
How would you fix Maria?
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
In the comments. Tag yourself, I'm Mammon.
Attack yourself as your steak.
Yeah, put your
Out of the 7 invisible girlfriends, which one are you?
Yeah,
How
which
many
invisible girlfriend are you?
How many invisible girlfriends would you have, and what would they be?
If you're the one with green hair, DM me.
If you're Asmodeus, please call me a cutie boy. I'm begging you.